Good evening and welcome to our pregame swarm with head Hornet Brian Maupin on the Maumelle Sports Network. I'm play-by-play voice Steve Henson along with color commentator Tyler Chenault. Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
Doing well.
I'm glad to be at a game this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at a couple this week. So I think ours Thursday, and then I get to go to Lone Oak Friday night with Mills. Help Trip set up because it looks like they're going to do a track setup like we've done a couple times because the press box isn't finished there. So, and then I think I'm going to head to War Memorial and go watch Sylvan Hills if I can make it before the halftime because it'll be over by then. But yeah, so looking forward to some football in an early week to get it kicked off. But unfortunately, winning streak ends at 6. But man, what a game. Personally, I think I said it a few times. I was kind of waiting to see how these guys would respond to adversity. I mean, we've kind of really rolled through the schedule since the Parkview. Really, I mean, Bologna, BB were some tough ones early on, but kind of rolled through it. And so I was really curious to see how this team would respond. And I tell you, I came away more encouraged with their resilience and their ability to just continue to fight through the adversity that you had in that ball game. Obviously, tough finish, but talk about the game and how you felt your squad performed.
Yeah, I mean, I was really encouraged. Oddly enough, when you give up 47 points, you shouldn't feel too great. But talking to Coach Pugh and Coach Will during the week, I thought we did some really good things, even defensively. I think offensively we continue to do some really good things. I talked to Coach Clark on Saturday, and he was sure that we were going to punch it in there at the end and go for 2, and he was sweating bullets on the other side. And when we completed the ball to Davian on 3rd and 20, very next play, Jacob gets loose, just over a minute left, feeling really good about things. And, you just hate to see a ball hit the turf in that situation. And, Jacob is really he's been hard on himself, but, that's a guy that we can count on, and I don't want to feel nothing like that. And so really a game like that, similar to the Sylvan Hills game, nothing to really hang your head on, some things to improve on, things to do better. But, man, what a fun atmosphere and what a great Friday night for football that was.
Yeah, talking to Jacob after, obviously he was really upset and down, and I just told him, hey, look, I mean, this team's not here without you at this point, and there's still a lot to play for next week against Robinson. So, obviously, if there's anybody on that team that'll turn the page, Jacob Henry's going to be that guy that'll turn the page. So,
for sure,
I look forward to seeing how he performs this week. But I feel like we kind of got to stop talking about certain things on this pregame show. So, no defensive offsides. That happens. We talk about the +7 turnover margin, and then we turn it over 4 times. What was your message to the team after a tough night of turning it over?
Biggest thing is in the recent history, it's been really clear when we pursue the ball and hold on to it on our side, we come out victorious a lot of the times. If you look at the games where we've struggled, the ball has left our hands, whether interceptions or fumbles. You think about last year's Robinson game, 2 quick fumbles, one down in our own red zone that essentially was a scoop and score. And you're down 14-0 like that, a play action pass, and it's 21-0. And you're just kind of like, golly, like I wish we could just get a reset button, and you don't get those. And when you're playing good teams in good Friday night atmospheres, you got to do your due diligence. You got to protect that football. And I was impressed that we were able to get an interception. Cersei kid does a good job of protecting the ball. Only had like 3 all year. So those are the things we try to do. But in big games, you've got to put your hat on the ball and get that thing rolling around to create opportunities to kind of swing that pendulum in your favor. But that's an encouraging thing because that's something that we control. Hold on to the ball. Be more, have more discernment on where you're throwing it. When it hits your hands, catch it. Don't tip it up and let a defensive guy fall under it, And so that's encouraging to know that we turn the ball over that many times and we're on the 11-yard line going for the potential go-ahead 2-point conversion after a score. Makes you feel good about where we are at opportunity-wise.
Yeah, for sure. While you did have those turnovers, offense, still prolific. They've excelled really all year and moved the ball well. How do you keep that momentum moving despite having that loss this week?
Well, big thing is you got to kind of look at what you did well, what we went into the game thinking we'd have and what worked. And then, go into this game with some things that we think we have and see what works. And there are some opportunities against Joe T. Obviously, it's a great defense. I know. I ran for a long time, and those guys do a really good job. Coach Shields, he was one of my best assistants in my time over there. He's a student of the game. He does some really, really good things. He's kind of started to morph it into his own. Trent Dunn played for me, and Coach Up was my safeties coach. So, since I've left, I text those guys, and I just tell them I'm really proud of the way they're calling defense. And so, obviously, we know it's a tall task. But there are some things. And so you go into the game, you know what you want to attack, you know how you want to get after them, and you just have to execute those things. And so coming out of the Cersei game, that reigned true as it has most of the season.
So as we move on to that Week 10 matchup, obviously huge test. We talked about it all year, these last 2 weeks of the season on the road at Robinson, but still a ton to play for. I guess in some ways we kind of do control our destiny. You go win by, and you can correct me here, you go win by 14 and you're the 1 seed, correct? Is it 8? Okay.
Yeah, win by 8.
So
nothing
beat
else
them by,
matters.
There you go. So beat them by 8, you're the 1 seed. We lose and then things get a little muddy, but we're BB Badger fans, I think, at that point.
We're
at least to get
regardless.
Is it? Okay. I thought we could get, or do we not have Cersei in terms of tiebreaker would be my.
We do, but it would go to head between us and them.
Okay.
And BB can't catch either one of us to muddy up the 3-way, and we already beat BB. So
that's right. It's that. Yeah, never mind.
The only way BB moves up from the 4 is if they beat Cersei and we beat Robinson.
Okay,
because then it's just BB and Cersei in the head-to-head, and BB
Right.
will just beat them. But if we lose and Cersei loses, it's still going to be Cersei, Maumelle, BB.
Well, either way, ton to play for it, and we'd love to play another one at Hornets Stadium. But what's been the message this week in practice, and how have the guys responded coming off that first loss in 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think the biggest message is you still control your own destiny. If we win by 8, the BB Cersei game doesn't mean anything to us, and we're the conference champs, just like we sought out to be. If BB and Cersei is even remotely competitive and isn't a 13 game, all we have to do is win, and we're the conference champs. So not going to be score watching at all, because it's just about us handling our business. And this will be the second year in a row that if we handle our business in Week 10, we're the conference champs. I had a great conversation with a parent on the field Friday night after the game, and he was like, Coach, you may not want to hear this right now, but I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart that we're playing competitive games in November. You don't know what that means to my son and his family that we're coming. And for me, that's the biggest deal. The other message is, if you look at our 3 losses, Sylvan Hills wins their conference. Parkview's likely to win their conference with a win on Friday and a Lakeside win. And Cersei, if we win, is in a 3-way tie for their conference. So you've only lost to 3 shared conference champions all season. That's it. And so when you look at it that way, you tell your kids, okay, you lost on a 2-point conversion to a top 6A team. That's your barometer. You lost a tough non-conference game to Parkview. They're a conference champion or playing for one this week as well. You lost to Cersei at home, and you turn the ball over at the very end of the game. They're going to be in a 3-way tiebreaker if you handle business this week for a conference championship. Those are the kind of teams you got to beat. Those are the kind of teams you have to find yourself around if you want to make a playoff run. Well, we're around those teams. We just have to win the games.
Yeah, for sure. And you're not going to be score watching, but I promise you Steve's going to be score watching. He's going to give everybody every 3 minutes there's going to be an update of scores.
Hey, I got some tricks up my sleeve this week. Just wait.
Love it.
It's going to be fun.
But Robinson, you've already touched a little bit on their defense, but they're electric offensively too with Williams and Frampton. They really like to get downhill, run the ball at you. What are some keys for your box defenders this week to make sure you can try and slow down that running game?
Yeah, the good thing is we've played good running backs this year. The ball kid at Jacksonville is a good running back. Parkview, obviously, whoever they're handing the ball off to is a good running back. I think Sylvan Hills' back has been really dynamic this year. So we've played – yeah, exactly. And And so we've played tough backs. I do think Deuce is really, really good. Jumps out on tape, does some really good things. What I like is they don't really run from who they are. They want to be a power counter team. They want to get it to their best player, and they want to let him run the football. And so, I like when coaches have the brash and the confidence enough to be who they are and be confident in who they are and put the ball in their best player's hands. And our kids understand that you got to get that guy on the ground. I think if you watch the Cersei game, they did a really good job of that in the first half. They were up big. Didn't do a great job in the second half of that. They gave up their lead. And so we know that it comes down to doing a really good job against their run game, getting multiple hats to the ball, getting those legs wrapped up and together. And, we know it's a tall task. But then, they do have enough on the edges to keep you honest, and that's one of the things with Cersei. They have a power run game scheme, but then they got guys on the edges that'll keep you honest. And so that kind of conflict puts a lot of strain on your defense. But I think we can fly around and make some plays, play with confidence, and, let the chips fall.
I think one huge key, tackling obviously is always a huge key, but somehow you got to figure out how to tackle Deuce, because in the 9 games that I've pulled highlights for Robinson this year, that's the story. I mean, he just runs through people, over people. You think he's down, he comes out of a pile of 6 people. That's the even more impressive part with Deuce. You got to get everybody there and figure out a way to get him to the ground.
Coach, you've already talked a little bit about your relationship with those coaches over there at Robinson. You got to work with them. I want to give you a chance just to talk a little bit about Coach Up and kind of the job he's done his first year as head coach. We know Coach Escola left him in a program ripe for success, right? He's built it over there. But they've had some adversity this year. What have you seen out of your buddy over there his first year that you've kind of liked?
Man, I texted him after the PA game, just letting him know how proud I was of him. His daughter goes to PA, so that game meant a whole lot to him. And so I know that was real special. We hadn't beat him. I know the year I was there, we didn't beat him. And I know he was, that was a big one for him. And so to see him get his first win was a really real special moment. I mean, me and Up, we've been doing the dirty work over there for a long time. I remember when we were rolling up our sleeves, painting that old nasty field house that probably should have been condemned by then. And we're trying to put lipstick on a pig and make the most of it, man. But he's a guy that just worked his way up and did the little things. And, he was a little fiery when he was on the offensive side of the ball. So Coach Scola sent him over to me. I said, I'll take him, man. We put him at safeties, and he did a great job with that. He's as good a dude as I know. Somebody I call a dear friend. When I got my vasectomy, he was the one at the house babysitting for me. So that's my boy, man. Up is a good dude. He's been a great friend to me. He is on the very short list of people that if I ever need anything or get in any kind of trouble or anything, I know I can call Up and he'll be there in a second. It helps that his family goes to bed at 8 o'clock and he turns back into a bachelor. But I know he'll be there for me, and you don't have too many people like that in your life. And so Up means a lot to me.
Speaking of Escola a little bit, he's got jokes now that he's not a head coach anymore. I mean, he was giving me a hard time in our chat yesterday because walked into the press box and there were wasps everywhere. I said, hey, can you clear the booth out? Can you have somebody come out and get those wasps out? And he said, we'll get them out of the Robinson side. I said, I appreciate that. I said, we're happily on the roof, sir. I'm not worried about it.
He didn't know the Hornets were coming in town a little early.
That's right. They showed up early. So we hit on this just a little bit. You talked some about last season's game and this matchup with Robinson, and it was 31-0 at half. You can't, no running from it. This year, though, this team has done a great job starting fast. 105 points in the first quarter, 105 points in the second quarter. What do we got to do in this ball game to, one, continue those fast starts, but two, conversely, the fourth quarter has been our lowest score. Some of that is, sportsmanship rule stuff, that kind of deal. But also we've given up the most points in the fourth. I think 86 points in the fourth quarter, and I think Cersei scored 21 last week. What's the key for this team to not only start fast, but to close that ball game out as well?
Depth is an issue this year, and that shows whether we're subbing guys out and some younger guys are getting opportunities and they're not, holding the standard like needs to be held, or, we got guys going both ways. That four-quarter game is tough. And so the best example I have of that this year was the Pine Bluff game when we were shorthanded. And we didn't run from it. We didn't shy away from it. We knew how thin we were. I told the guys it's going to be a 4-quarter night. You guys are the 4 horsemen. That's who I'm riding with. You got to be out there. You got to go handle business. And I thought we really rose to the occasion. And so big thing this week is not shying away from that or setting some illusion that we're going to be rotating 30 deep and all this. Like, fellas, it's week 10. The guys that got us here are the guys we're riding, and we're going to have to ride. And, it's 48 minutes. It's 48 minutes. And so we hit on the emotion that we felt after the Searcy game. And my thing is, you expel so much emotion in defeat. Expel that emotion in the game, and it'll be Jubilee post game. And so for me, big thing is just communicate, not running from it, not setting false expectations, starting quick with the plays and the schemes that we know will be good, but then making the adjustments that we need to continue that through the 3rd and 4th quarter.
All right, Coach. We'll appreciate it. That's going to do it for our pregame swarm. Join Tyler, Jake, and myself from the rooftops at Charlie George Stadium coming up next. Good luck tonight, Coach, and go Hornets.
Hey, go Hornets.
Good evening and welcome to Charlie George Stadium on the campus of Joe T. Robinson High School for Maumelle Hornet football. I'm Steve Henson along with Tyler Chenault, and we are live from the roof of the press box here at Charlie George Stadium. And Tyler, I tell you what, this is one of my favorite places that we get to call a game from. Well, we don't have much of a view now that it's dark, but early in the season, earlier today, this is a fantastic place to watch a football game. You sit right in the valley between Pinnacle Mountain and Chenal Mountain behind us. You can hear the wind.
You
That's
can
going to be a
hear.
problem
We're on the roof
most of the night. It is very windy up here, but this should be a good one. Conference title on the line. We'll probably say this plenty of times, but if you're confused about what's at stake, go back and watch the pregame swarm.
Because you were confused.
I was confused. Moppin cleared it up, and he cleared it up even more on the field for us during pregame here earlier. We were chatting with him. So, but basically, here's what we got to do. We got to win, and preferably you want to win by 8. Now, some things kind of matter what happens with BB and Searcy, but as long as you win, you are setting yourself up to at least host that home playoff game. Right now, as it sits, we're a 3 seed, and we're either going to get Parkview or Hot Springs. in the first round and would have to travel to either War Memorial or down to Hot Springs. And so now that could end up in a perfect triangle as well, depending on what happens in their ball games this week. So either way, should be a fun one here at Charlie George on a Thursday night. And I'm excited for it. And Tyler, I know you're excited to be back out on the mic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Got a week off last week. Had to go trick-or-treating with the girls. Can't ever complain about that. As you always say, the family's going to come first. But it's definitely nice to be back, and it's on a Thursday, so I get Friday off this week as well. But kind of I'm back where it all started, right? First year with Natural State Sports, I was on the Robinson call, and then Steve stole me. Didn't give me a choice. I had to come over to Maumelle for the next 3 years, and I've enjoyed every week of it. But it's a big one. Definitely, and you said the 8-point thing. If we win by 8, it doesn't matter what happens. And then what you were alluding to is for every point that Searcy does not win by 13, because 13 is the most points you can get. Every point they don't win by 13 is a point away. So if they win by 12, we've only got to win by 7. If they win by 11, we've only got to win by 6. It goes along with that, because the most you can get every game is 13. So we just have to make up that difference in a win. So there's a little bit going there. I know BB and Searcy are playing tonight as well, so that's something we're going to know the outcome of this conference by the end of the night tonight. And I think Steve's going to – I think he's going to try and get a little something special for y'all from time to time, and we'll just kind of see how that goes. I got all the faith in the world in Andy to make sure we get that taken care of.
Well, he doesn't know that he's going to get a phone call from Will at some point between now and halftime. Oh, no, they're going Rusters.
All right, water bottles on top of these, and phones.
Yes. I do have the Robinson roster here. My goodness. Let's talk about this Robinson team a little bit. Obviously undefeated. I was talking with Coach Updergrove down there on the field, and he felt like last week, because if you go back and watch really the last 2 games, first half of the Searcy game, Searcy really outplayed them.
Yeah.
Second half, obviously Robinson made the run and really kind of won it handily at the end of that ball game. Score was not as close, or it was a much closer game than the score indicated. But then last week against Pine Bluff, if you watch that game, it felt like they just kind of went through the motions. And I joked with Updergrove, I said, I felt like I was kind of watching a Mills game and when they're playing conference, because Mills seems to jog through every game because they don't have to play hard to win 40-something nothing against some of those teams. And that's what it felt like against Pine Bluff last week. And he said it was weird. It felt like a JV game. There wasn't very many fans in the stadium. It was just kind of a weird night. So I'm curious to see what that energy level looks like. Obviously, senior night, you would expect energy to not be an issue for either one of these squads, but especially not Robinson. Everything at hand. Updergrove's first year, looking for that state title. On top of that, a former coach and Robinson guy on the other sideline. So this should be one heck of a battle between these two teams.
Yeah, it's a guy that we even talked about it in the pregame show that Maupin and Updergrove worked together for a long time before Maupin moved over to Maumelle. So you got a good relationship there between the two head coaches. So it's big for him to come back, and we talked about it 2 years ago, his first game at Robinson as the head coach of the Hornets. So he's coming back again. But really, this is the one that you feel like Robinson's probably not going to have a hard time getting up to go, because this is a game is different than a Pine Bluff. You get kids in high school, they watch the film and they're like, oh well, we've seen the scores of Pine Bluff, we know that they're not as good as they have been in years past, so it's tough for them to get up. But they know this is a team that technically is in third place right now in the conference, but they played Searcy hard last week, and they've had as much success against the other teams in the conference as anybody else has. So it's a team they know it's going to take a lot. You're going to have to play some good ball. You can't come out and play like you have the first half of Searcy, like you did last week, like you did against BB even for a lot of that game. You're going to have to be on your game. That's the same thing Maumelle does too. We were talking up here before we ever came on, is Maumelle, for a chance to win this game, they have got to play the best game they've played all year. They got to be clean. They can't turn the ball over. We can't start the game like we did last year. What was it, 31-0? Yeah, that can't happen, obviously. But you've got to be able to start fast and get some momentum going.
Yeah, we talked about that obviously in the pregame swarm and how important that is. And you look at the way this season has gone, and the first and second quarters have been impressive. We've scored 105 points in each of those quarters in the first half. But then in the second half, and again, factors come into that. Your mercy ruling teams, which then leads, to not many points being scored, and really second, third teamers out there, so the other team's able to get touchdowns here or there. But, you go back to the Parkview game. It was a game at the half, and then Parkview just went off in the second half. Sylvan Hills, they're scoring on everybody for 4 quarters, but same thing. A lot of points in that second half. And then you go back to last week, 21 points in the fourth quarter for Searcy. Obviously, the turnovers were the difference in that game. You don't turn the ball over 4 times, Maumelle probably wins that by 2 scores. And so the one thing, and I've said it several times, I said it last week on the scoreboard show, and I've said it multiple times since, I came away more encouraged from the loss to Searcy than disappointed. Obviously, you didn't want to lose, but the one thing that I did like to see was this team continued to play. They continued to really fight through that game, which is a stark difference from what you saw at times in that Parkview game and others, where you saw more fighting amongst one another than trying to fight the other team and kind of correct those mistakes.
Yeah, and that's stuff that as a coach, that's where you want to be in this time of the year. You want to have all those things ironed out, because those things are going to happen early, especially whenever you got some other guys that hadn't played as much that are starting to step up and play some as they get a little bit older. But if you can iron those out as you get towards the end of the year, you're in a pretty good place. And as a coach, it's just growing every single game. So it's great to see that growth. Like you said, you come up with the loss, but you faced adversity after adversity after adversity. Every time Maumelle scored, Searcy went and put another one on the board. Like it was just back and forth, and that's something that can eat at you and make it difficult to continue to come out and do it, especially offensively when you're having to play catch up, you're having to play keep up and keep putting points on the board. But they were able to stick together, and now we just need that defense to step up like we know they can, but they've given up some points this year. Coach Maupin's talked about it on the pregame show a little bit. We've got to be able to tackle, and there's a guy in the backfield for Robinson that you have to be able to tackle him.
Yeah, Deuce Williams, obviously, this team goes as Kevin Deuce Williams goes, averaging 11 yards a touch just on the ground, 1,271 yards on the season, a long of 65. He's had 700-yard games this year. He scored 17 touchdowns on the ground alone. Looks like we got national anthem, so we will join our PA and the Robinson Band for the national anthem. We'll be right back with you.
All right, we are back. A beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by the Robinson Choir. And I do just want to say this. We got cut off, but I wanted to say it. Just talking about Deuce and kind of how good he has been for Robinson this year. It's a really big sign of how good he's been and how dominant he has been whenever 4 years ago on the Robinson call, whenever old Tank Reese was a freshman and he was going to be the next big deal, the next big-time running back in the Robinson backfield. He's going to take over for King Freeman after he left. And now Tank Reese, he's big at linebacker for him. He's still a huge player for him, but he's a guy that Deuce has kind of stepped into that role and has become that offensive weapon and lets Tank focus a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, you won't see Tank much in the backfield. It'll be Deuce, and then you'll see a lot of Charles Petty, and then you'll also see a lot of Bryson Cunningham just to spell him. But 117 carries on the season for Deuce, whereas Tank just has 15 on the year. Next closest, Bryson Cunningham with 49 carries on the year. But again, 1,271 yards on the ground, 17 touchdowns. He's also caught a few passes, 3 touchdowns through the air, 10 catches for 168 yards. He also has a passing touchdown. He has a kick return touchdown. He has a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He's an interception return for a touchdown. So he's done it all. He scored a touchdown in literally every way.
Is there any other way?
Nope.
You said a kick return. He's had a punt return for a touchdown.
As well. The only one he didn't have was the passing, and he got that a few weeks ago.
They made sure they got that one on the stat sheet for him.
So as we take a look at our captains down on the field, I see Bubba Johnson as well as Jonathan Williams, Jordan Harris. Who's the other senior down there? Can't tell from where we sit, but there's a screen in our way. So.
I mean, just strictly based off of that's 0.
J Will's out there.
Yeah, 0, 31.
Bubba, Jordan. I can't tell who's on the end of that.
He's in the middle. 0. It's right
here.
Is that
Marshawn? I think it's
right
Marshawn.
Next to Bubba. I see the hair.
It looks like Marshawn's hair. It could be Caden Brooks though too.
Okay, we're gonna get it now.
It is.
Yeah.
So, Caden Brooks, and we deferred.
We watched it this time. I made sure I watched it last week for you, and I said
appreciate that. I do want to say thanks to the rest of our crew. Bobby Jones, of course, on our main cam. Kristen Henson back with us on our field cam. But we now have a second field cam tonight as Kerry Rodnick had no band responsibilities tonight. So he said, hey, I need to work on running a camera. And he did such a great job running our field cam at the Wise Guys. We're going to have to watch for him, though, because,
is he going to be on the field again?
He chase the team around on the field, which was kind of fun to watch. He can't do that here. But this one should be a lot of fun. We're trying to bring out as many angles as we can. And we are just about ready for our Ankles kickoff. And just to reiterate, kind of obviously a win by 8 at least, you're the number 1 seed.
A win guarantees a home playoff game.
That as well, yes. And so I was talking, though, with Coach Maupin during our pregame, and one of the questions I asked him is the plan to try to put the ball in Reese Simpson's hands and make him beat you. And I think that is the path to beating this Robinson team. Not to take anything away from Reese, but the less that 2 touches it, the better you are as a football team. And that's going to be the key here tonight. The other piece that this team's going to have to deal with, this might be the hardest hitting team Maumelle's played all year. Parkview probably close. Hakeem Frampton, the A&M commit that came out from California, that kid can absolutely lay it on you. Dominio Patterson, if they put him in the backfield, look out. He had the game the run that put the game into Mercy Rule territory against PA, like a 40-yard touchdown run. So, just this is a team full of athletes. On paper, you would think that they're the favorite, and in their place. But this is one of those games. I think about Mills a couple of years ago. Everybody said Mills was just going to walk in to Maumelle and just destroy us, and we handled business that night. I feel like this is an opportunity for Maumelle to do the same thing here tonight.
Yeah, you touched on really the key, and Jay Call and I talked about it down on the field pregame. You're going to have to try and slow down Deuce. Deuce is going to get his. You're not going to stop him. That's just not going to happen with how good of a player he is. But you've got to slow him down. You've got to have a chance to, and you've got to make the quarterback beat you back there. Let Jordan Harris, let Patrick Ward pin their ears back and go rush the passer if you can stop the run, and that's going to give you a chance defensively to keep your offense in the game.
So Moran on for our Ankles kickoff. It'll be Frampton and Deuce Williams to return.
That's up in the air.
And Hornets can get on it, and they.
I don't know how Jay Will didn't get that.
I don't either.
It bounced right in front of him. That was flashbacks of last week.
Oh gosh.
That's all we're gonna say about it.
I started to bring that up in the pregame swarm, and I thought, no I'm not, because. That had to have had Maupin hot after the fact.
I can promise you he was not very happy. He was, no coach ever. Ugh.
So Reese Simpson, the quarterback, Deuce Williams, set behind him in the pistol formation. familiar name, Josiah Warrior Benson, the near side receiver. They're going to fake it, looking Benson's way. Upside, that's Frampton. And boy, caught a break there.
Yeah, Mayweather was on the coverage, and he has a good route right there by Frampton. And Mayweather, he grabbed the hip out of that break, but he didn't hold on to it too long. He just slowed him up enough that made the ball off just a tad. But you can see Robinson knows Maumelle's going to try and stop the run. Maybe we can get one quick on them deep that they're not really ready for, and they had a chance at it.
And, we've seen teams have success with that. Last week we saw it with Searcy being able to throw the ball deep. And Reese Simpson's a very talented kid. I don't know that he's got the talent that young man had last week for Searcy. Hands this one away. That's Deuce up the middle. Deuce, This is what he does. Bounces it outside. And that stiff arm is deadly.
No.
He just slings a man down at the 39, down to the 38, and that'll be an Acre Pharmacy first down.
See, that right there, your defensive line stacks them up and does what they're supposed to do and clogs all those lanes inside. You just got to have somebody there that can keep him from bouncing it out and get him wrapped up and get some help. Because you get him in the open field like that, he's going to shrug you off. He's going to stiff arm you and throw you down to the ground, Leonard Fournette style right there. You've got to keep him bottled up and have a lot of Hornets there.
I would love – that wasn't offsides last week. It is this week as Jalen Harris jumps offsides.
It helps that he's right on top of the ball as well. But if you're right on top of the ball, your eyes are right there. You should. And it's hard. You say it all the time in coaching. You got to listen. You can't listen. You look with your eyes. Some coaches teach watching the ball. Some coaches teach to read the hip of the offensive lineman and watch that. But you got to be able to turn those ears off to the quarterback up back there.
Go back to Deuce. That's been the key with Deuce is every time, it's so often it looks like he has no chance, and suddenly he just breaks free for a big play. Once again, here as he hesitates in the hole, and now the speed out of Deuce, and he's loose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give them 6. And the Senators strike first as Deuce Williams scores the American Pie Pizza touchdown.
Yeah.
6-0
Senators. You just can't give him a lane like that. That thing opened up, parted like the Red Sea, if you will, and nobody even touched him. Your linebackers have got to be there to scrape and fill into that hole. Didn't get a great view from up here as to exactly where it hit, but you've got to have guys right there that can come over and fill that hole and not get caught up in the mess.
William Tate on for the Kids Being Kids Therapy extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 11:37 to go in the first, it is a 7-0 game. Senators lead. And Tyler, this is a hair reminiscent of last week. We had 2 touchdowns in the first minute of that ball game. So Hornet offense just got to come out and answer.
Yeah, you got to. That's as much to give your defense a little bit of time to kind of get things fixed and understand we're still in this game, because what you don't need is to let those things pile up on each other, because 2 big chunk runs by Deuce, it can be demoralizing even on the very first possession of the game. So you got to come out here, sustain a drive. If you want to have a big play touchdown, that's fine, but if anything, sustain a drive, move the ball a little bit, just to kind of keep some momentum from flowing too far away from you at the start of this game.
And I don't think it's possible to wear Deuce Williams out. But the longer we can keep him on the field defensively, I think does bode well for us. It's to your point. Keep that offense on the field as much as we can. This is that game where you want to see that 4-headed monster in the backfield between Wiley and Henry and Bubba and Kutoff get out there and really control this game.
Well, and another thing is this Robinson team has only had to play, one 4-quarter game all year long. So if you can keep it close and keep them out there for a long time, it could be a little bit of attrition on something they hadn't had to do all year.
Akel's kickoff goes into the end zone. That's another weapon of the many weapons that Robinson has. William Tate.
Tate's been kicking for Robinson for the past, 6 years or so?
Well, and really, Williams had a lot of opportunities to kick because his brother dealt with ACL tears.
He was hurt, so
he tore his ACL, I think, every year he was at Robinson. And so last year was so disappointing for him because they made that run to a state championship in soccer, and he wasn't able to complete it because he tore his ACL last year as well. And you hate it for Tate. He did it in the semifinal game. So, all right, the offense on the field. Jacob Henry in the backfield behind Levi Warrior. Isaac Warrior, the near side receiver. They're going to throw. Looking for Henry, makes the catch at the 20 and breaks the tackle. Got an Acre Pharmacy first down as he steps out of bounds. And a good first play for the Hornets.
Jacob Henry showing you he can break tackles as well. And a connection that I didn't know existed. Coach Moffin was talking about it. Both Jacob Henry and Deuce Williams both were at CAC 2 years ago before they transferred to their respective schools now.
Yeah.
So, and Josiah Warrior Benson, but both of the big-time running backs for each team both came from Mustang Mountain.
Hey, good to see the original pancakes in our comments. Connor Forte faked it over the middle, got his man caught. Hampton broke the tackle, and now will be dumped at the 47. And good to see a healthy Jackson Hampton on the field.
Well, now he's coming up a little gimpy again.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how long he can go. He's going to stay out there, though, although he's got to get back on the line of scrimmage here.
He's a little too far up. He didn't gain that many yards.
And you saw it last week. He tried in the first half, wasn't really able to go, come out, warmed up in the second half, and it was obvious that he just wasn't going to be able to be effective. This time they'll hand it away to Wiley, and Wiley going to lose a yard on the play.
And this is a defense, at least in the box, that looks really fast. I mean, you got Deuce, you got Tank. We know both those guys can go. I mean, when you have that much speed in the box and Deuce playing close to the line of scrimmage a lot of times, it's tough to get that running game going because any holes that are there close up very quickly.
Then you add Lennox Campos. I think he had 6 sacks against Pine Bluff last week. Dominio Patterson, a man for his size that can move. And so this is, I mean, again, just a lot of talent across the field. Want to block this one up well, and Jackson stumbled out of the break and could not hold on to that. Want to bring up third down.
He stumbled, and it was still thrown behind him a little bit. But then you're talking about Lennox Campos. It's like Robinson. It's just a family affair. 4 years ago, his brother, I can't remember his first name, but you had a Campos, one of their most dominant offensive and defensive linemen 4 years ago. It's just they just have, it's one of those things, it's a lineage thing over here at Robinson where you just get another one and then another one and then another one.
Now you're going to see the pass rushers come in on the field here. Aiden Scott, Jackson Redmond on the field as Patterson comes off. Now we got PI roofing penalty flags.
There's about 17 of them.
Well, and a lot of trash, too.
Yeah.
That's what threw me off. I thought there was a flag earlier, and it was just junk flying
I think
around.
you got pieces of, like, stuff from senior night and all that they gave people that had fallen off. And you know, you see stuff, they play defense a little bit different on third down whenever they're coming to rush you. They bring all their pass rushers in. You got a high guy, you got a low guy. They're going to man you up as much as they can. So see if we can have something schemed up for that defense.
We're going to run quarterback draw. Warrior breaks a tackle. You're going to get a PI roofing penalty. I think they're going to get Isaac for a hold. And he didn't need to. He was.
Well, I mean, how you going to call a hold back there anyway whenever your corner's not really fighting too hard to get off the block in the first place?
See if that's the call.
And then you also can't miss that block in the box right there. You got to get something on Tank right there coming down to make that tackle on your quarterback.
One of those pass rush specialists, Jackson Redmond, a PA transfer. He's the sack leader in the state last year and just happened to transfer over here down the street.
He was just as happy as the rest of Robinson to
Absolutely.
finally get a win against PA. Okay, they did, yeah.
So we're going to have a defensive holding. And that'll be enough for a first down. So Naker Pharmacy first down, a break for the Hornets.
And so he's pointing at something over here, like there was another flag, but
he is still arguing it.
and the Hornets are about to snap the ball.
Robinson's still trying to get set. Now they snap it. They're going to run a little option pitch. Henry cuts inside. He is dumped. I believe that's Caleb Smith on the tackle for the Senators.
Thought he had a little bit there early, and again, it closed up quick. Didn't have anywhere to go. Doing their job out there on the edge and making them cut it back to all those defenders that are chasing and turning and chasing.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see, haven't to this point, and won't see a defense with this much collective team speed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Warrior looking on 2nd and 9. Throws, oh no. That ball just floated up, intercepted, and going to finally be taken down by Isaac Warrior. And another turnover for the Hornets as Kalen Norwood gets the pick.
And I don't know if that was something, he had a guy in his face, so it kind of sailed on him a little bit. Wasn't able to really step into it, and he wasn't throwing from a comfortable platform right there that sailed it on him. But even if he was throwing that kind of corner route, it was early, and Jackson Hampton was slow getting out of his break and everything too. So there was just a lot of different things going on right there. But you're talking about team speed. I mean, they're not overly big on defense, but they move so fast and they move so well that even though you've got probably the size advantage on the line, it's just tough to get to them, and they kind of get around you.
All right, so Robinson back on the field, and we talked about this last year, similar situation. We turned it over twice early. That led to Robinson being up 31-0 at the half. Deuce again looking to get the corner. And this time, he will be hung onto and slung out of bounds. That was Jacob Henry on the tackle.
Jacob gets there, but, I mean, even a guy that played with him 2 years ago, it's still tough to understand the speed that he's got coming at you. He still had to turn and run and get side to side to at least get a chance to get hands on him. And he was in great position to make him cut it back and just couldn't set the edge on him.
7 on that one, so 2nd down and 3. And you watch that stiff arm is just so lethal for Deuce. When he's able to get a hand on it, it's that constant hand fight. It's got to be frustrating as a tackler.
And the more you see him, the more you'll get used to the speed a little bit and kind of get used to your angles on defense too. So hopefully get there, Davian. Yeah.
Jordan in the backfield. They'll get maybe a half yard on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 2.5.
But, they say football's a game of inches. Football's also a game of angles. And if you can't get those angles right, you're going to get out-leveraged all the time. So the more you see him run the ball, the more you're trying to meet him at the point of contact, and you get used to how you've got to adjust your angles. Because different players, you have to come at them and attack them a little bit differently. And the more chances they get to do it, the more successful they should be if they make those adjustments personally.
Interesting here. Frampton comes off the field, goes straight to the bench. He's not talking to a trainer. Hornets showing pressure off the edge. J-Will got him, but it looks like he's going to fall forward for a 1st down.
He just got him by foot, and he had to fall forward, and a few yards falling forward is pretty easy. So it's a great tackle right there. The sticks were too close to you.
We got some score predictions of 54-7 in the comments.
Well, that might be a little much.
It's 54-7. Tyler might be doing play-by-play in the 2nd half.
Where are you going?
You and Jake can have it.
You got to pack up after we're done.
I do. I know. I told the Robinson folks that y'all are home either way after this, so
just
leave
leave
your stuff here.
Lock the door.
That's right. All right, so 1st and 10 as Simpson drops. Pressure coming. Oh, they nearly had him. Just throws this one up. Receiver adjusted. Hornets did not. As that's Jaden Todd on the big catch.
Gillespie's in great position, but that's your back shoulder throw that you see work at every single level if you can throw it good, because that corner's working so hard to just continue to run with him. And then when the receiver puts his foot in the ground and stops on a dime, I mean, you're not ready for that. You can't do that. And then if you're in his way, you're going to get a penalty anyway for pass interference if he can't get by you. So it's lose-lose a lot of times in those situations if the quarterback can put the ball in a good spot.
Let's need to answer with a turnover here. That would be huge for him. Frampton is back on the field. It'll be Frampton and Warrior Benson here on the near side. That's a A&M and a UCA commit. Handed away up the middle. Big hole for Deuce. He'll be tripped up inside the 5. And he gets 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and a yard.
J-Will looked like he kind of got lost back there from his linebacker position. He kind of bounced himself out a gap or two too far outside, and Deuce just came straight down the gut.
2nd down and a yard. I would expect they'll run this right behind that left side, behind Campos, Patterson, and Redmond. And they started to, but he cuts back to the right and give him 6. Deuce Williams, 2 for 2 on the evening. It was 7:16 to go in our 1st quarter. It's 13-0 Senators.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to stop the run somehow, and you've got to have every single gap plugged up. You can't have one guy's out of his gap, and that's somewhere for them to run the football, and they're going to find that gap, and they're going to get there. So you've got to make sure you're worrying about you and doing your job and being where you're supposed to be defensively.
Tate on for our Kids Being Kids Therapy. Extra point, high snap, they got it down, kick is up, and it is good. And it is a 14-0 lead here early on. And let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew, somebody that had a pretty good look at these Robinson Senators last week. Mr. Jake Hall. Maybe. If I can find it. He's there somewhere. Jake, can you hear me? Hang on, let me make sure we're connected to the right stuff here. You there, Jake?
There it is.
Maybe? No, that's their headset.
No.
Hang on, I'm gonna.
He's probably talking up a storm right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect, see if that helps. We'll come back to Jake in just a minute.
Trying to look for him down there. I don't even see him. Maybe he took a break.
Nope, I hear him, I think. Can you hear me, Jake?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There he is. We got you now, Jake, and you're not a robot tonight.
Kind of liked it better
Okay,
that way.
good deal. No, like you said, though, Steve. Yeah, I was here last week, getting a good look at the Senators, and they're a well put together team. The Hornets are going to have to come out here and really play mistake-free football. But I will say the energy over here on the Hornets sideline, the best I've seen it all year long. You can tell this game is going to mean a lot to them, and they're coming out here ready to play hard. I can tell you that.
Well, that was going to be my question to you, Jake, was, I mean, obviously 2 quick scores, and it's starting to look like it did last year in this ball game. What's the energy level at this point after the 2 scores?
So far, everybody's kind of got their heads together. Offense saying, "Hey, we know what we got to do. We made a mistake. We turned the ball over. Don't let it happen again. We can get this turned around." Defense, I think they're just reiterating, hey, if you can tackle Deuce Williams, you can force them to start making mistakes. And they've just got and they're talking about figuring out a way to stop this running game. And that's what they're focusing on defense. On offense, they're just going to try to score the ball, and I think they're going to come out here and do exactly that.
All right, Jake, appreciate it. We'll go back to Jake in just a few. This one handed off to Henry. He's going to get maybe 2 on the play, bring up a 2nd down.
And offensively, they were moving the ball well. They were putting stuff together, and then you just had that errant throw. I mean, you got behind the sticks a little bit, but they still were able to gain some yards. You just can't put the ball in that situation and give it back to them with that high-powered offensive and run game.
That was after the game last week. I went down to the field and was talking with Levi after the game, and that was something he talked about because there were several misses as they pitched this one out. Henry, and again, Robinson waiting on it. We got a PI roofing penalty on the play, and if that's a hold, it might be the worst hold ever because
he made the tackles still.
And Davian was still standing behind him.
The guy that was held made the tackle. But if you're going to try and pitch the ball out and get on the edge, I love that, trying to get on the edges, but those guys outside have got to be able to get people blocked up, and if you can't get them blocked up, you're not going to do anything. So it's just something, if you can't do it out there, it's going to make it really difficult to get anything going on those edges.
But that was the conversation. Levi knows the things he's still got to work on, and so much of it is footwork for Levi, just having his feet set in the right spot. And you saw it a little bit on that pass on 3rd down in the last drive when he kind of missed and was intercepted.
Yeah.
So the penalty will be declined. It'll bring up 3rd down and, 6. So they declined the penalty after a gain. You talk about confidence in your defense.
Absolutely. Confidence in your pass rush package.
It's 3rd down.
So 3rd down and 6. They need the 41 for an Acre Pharmacy 1st down. Warrior going to throw. And good throw. He had Isaac. And Isaac just couldn't bring it in. It'll bring up 4th down. And I'd expect Warrior to punt this. Although
got good position on him right there. If you lead him a little bit more, if you can, to where the D-back doesn't have a chance to get his hands up there, but you threw it right to him, right on the numbers, which that's typically what you want, but you also got to understand the situation and where the defense is. You got to put the ball in the spot that is away from the defense and only gives your guy the chance to catch it. And it was just right there where the defender could get his hand in there and knock it down.
Warrior will go into punt formation, and as well as these guys know each other, one thing I just caught there was the Warrior went over and had a little quick conversation with Maupin right next to the sideline and then came out. Surely they're not going, oh no. Snap it over the head, and now Warrior is going to have to
He's got time.
He can get it out. He does kick it. It's
past the line of scrimmage.
Just past where they needed for a 1st down. And it'll roll to the 44, and boy, everything going downhill right now for the Hornets in the 1st.
This is a very similar start to what you had last year, where it's just one thing stacks on top of another and stacks on top of another. Luckily, Robinson doesn't really send a lot of heat to block the punt. They more so send those guys to make sure it's kicked and to block some folks. But luckily, they weren't sending anybody too hard, so Levi was at least able to get it picked up and get something downfield.
I think Up to Grove was expecting something there out of the Hornets, or at the very least trying to set up a return for Deuce. But surely, I mean, these guys know each other well enough. You see Maupin come out on the field and have a conversation with his punter, who's also his quarterback. You kind of know what might be about to happen. Simpson now empty backfield.
Got quads over here. They're going to
Pump fake now being chased
there,
down.
Patrick.
And this one, an accidental back shoulder to Francis. He just couldn't get it to him.
He was falling down, I think, and Patrick Ward hit him as he was throwing it. But if you can get pressure on him, make him have to throw the ball, which is going to require to make some tackles in the run game. But that's when you got a chance, because defensively we know we're pretty good at getting to the quarterback, especially on the edges out there. And if you can get him off of his spot and make him a little bit uncomfortable, that's whenever your defense should start looking a little bit better for you.
Well, and that's exactly what the conversation that I had with Maupin was, we want to make Reese beat us with his arm, not let Deuce run for 200 and bury us. And that's the goal here is they're not going to try to pressure him a ton. He feels like they can get enough with a 3 or 4 man front. Now, we'll see if they can do it, but
you can't be lined up off sides. And give them a second and 5 instead of a second and 10.
And that's crazy. That's been a call a lot. We've been not jumping, but just lining up in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
T. Elliott Hill says he's got ties to both sides, just wants a competitive game. Hey, we got ties to both sides too. Obviously, we produce the streams for both sides. And that ball's loose. Simpson gonna have to fall on it back at the 49.
Did he not get it?
And I know Hornets had it. How did that ball come out?
Did he not get it? And then he can't, I swore he had it, but then he keeps rolling around, and he didn't have it. He must have landed right on top of it. And that's something you don't know how hard that is until you have to try and do it. Mm-hmm. Again, those balls, they're not circle, right? They're not round. So when you jump on top of them, those things can bounce out. Like he went over the top of it.
It didn't squeezed out of there.
But if you got to know how to jump on top of it. You can't jump on top of it, because then it's going to squirt out from underneath your belly. You got to kind of curl up in fetal position onto the ball whenever it's a fumble like that.
And that is exactly what the Hornets needed. And now we're going to get a timeout by the Senators.
Coach Ups, it's a weird play right there. We thought we even had the ball back, and then we didn't. We're going to make sure everybody's kind of got their heads on straight and they're ready for this possession, because it's a big one. This early in the game, getting a turnover right there is huge. So Coach Up wants to make sure his defense is ready for it.
Yeah, it can't be really understated how big that turnover was. Robinson rolling offensively right now. You just had a disaster of a punt opportunity here where you snapped it over your punter's head. And so huge turnover to get the ball back for the Hornet offense. And now, with the way that the wind and everything is in this game, currently, this direction they're going, this first quarter, they really need to try to get this ground game going. I think anything that Levi puts up like he does on some of these deep balls is going to die in the air with the way that wind's blowing.
Yeah, it's definitely blowing in their face right now. We get gusts. It's not as much right now, but whenever it does pick up, it's blowing right into your face, and it's going to knock anything down, like you said, for sure.
We saw a little bit last week, some deep balls that were thrown by both teams, both quarterbacks, that just died. And maybe a little bit of that heavy, almost winter air. Jackson, your motion man here. And Warrior fakes it now in trouble. Being chased, he's got to get rid of it, he won't. He will be sacked as Lennox Campos gets him. And a huge loss.
Takes a little bit too long right there, and then his initial read wasn't there. You could tell wherever he looked first, he didn't feel good about it, and then he just kind of had to tuck it and get out of there, and it was just too late. He already had somebody on his heels.
And it seemed was a little off at the mesh as well. Jackson, there was a bit of a gap, and Levi kind of stood there for a minute.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than you wanted it to. It wasn't very clean and smooth.
And this one,
screen.
Yep, screen pass caught. Henry with room. Across midfield. And he's
good balance.
Oh, boy.
What in the world?
Holy cow. I don't know what just happened, but
I don't
David
either.
Sally somehow
I didn't
just
even think
launched
Jacob
him.
was right there. I don't even know where he got a hold of him.
That was wild.
It's a great screen pass.
Yeah.
It's a great time to call it, too. Where did he even come from? Right here.
Oh, just caught him in
Off
midair.
balance,
Henry,
yeah.
I think, was cutting, feet were in the air, just a perfect.
I mean, it brings up
for
a
Sally.
3rd and 1, so it's still pretty good spot right there. And I think it looked a lot worse than it was. Jacob was mid jump cut. Now
Yeah.
what? Are they offsides? Oh, sideline
Offsides or
warning.
Sideline, yeah.
He turned around and looked at it. And I think that was on an assistant coach. I'll tell you one thing. Nothing probably makes a head coach a little bit more angry than when an assistant coach gets a sideline warning. I've worked for multiple coaches. In the interviews, they say, they ask, when do you – oh.
Did he make contact with him? Or did
He didn't even
say
get a –
something?
and
I wonder, had
he
to have
keeps
said
pointing,
something.
though. He keeps pointing down at the white.
Well,
But they've asked, do you talk? What do you say to the refs? And the answer they're typically looking for is, I don't talk to the refs. That's my head coach's job.
there you go. Yeah, exactly. That is the right answer. Ask Bobby Petrino last week. So Bubba in the backfield. The Warrior kept it on the read and stumbles his way inside the 25.
That's a good pull by him. It was played really well by the defender, too, kind of attacking the mesh, not sitting and waiting. Where defenders really get into trouble on those read plays is they set their feet and make you make a decision, but give you time to make a decision. If you attack that mesh, and you'll hear any defensive coach, that's the terminology a lot of them use in those reads, is attack the mesh, make them make a decision, and no matter what they do, you're closing the gap on both those guys that could get the football.
And we got to give Bubba some credit. He was the winning coach of the inter-squad scrimmage, the red and black game on Monday night for basketball. And
Throwback.
Throwback. Henry's got it inside the 25 and going to be, I believe, just shy of the 8-yard first down.
No, he stepped out of bounds a lot earlier than we thought.
Hey, switch your cam.
I liked that view.
I like the view, but I don't like getting dizzy following it going back and forth left to right. I know. Again, look, hey, listen, if you see that kind of stuff happen, understand Andy's doing the job of about 6 people over here.
He's got 3 cameras tonight. So.
That too.
Oh,
Another
no.
screen. It was red this time. Hampton
Ooh.
makes a couple of moves, breaks free. Inside the 15. He's got an Acre Pharmacy first down.
Now get up and walk straight. No.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that all night long with Jackson.
And that time, I mean, it's a clean play, but the tackle ends up down close to those ankles. And I mean, and it's going to be, it's going to hurt him. And he's going to work. I don't think he's going to come out either way, as long as he can still walk on it. Is that a flag?
Yeah, we got a PI roofing penalty.
Illegal block in the back.
Oh.
On the offense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot.
I liked those first 2 screen plays, but you can only run so many screen plays per possession before they kind of start to figure it out. And that one, they diagnosed that one pretty quick.
Yeah, they seemed to fall in love with that a couple of weeks ago. They had a ton of success with it. And not quite as much against Cersei, and now you've seen a lot of it here on this drive specifically. So now 3rd and long, Warrior just takes off. A lot of room. Cuts back inside. He'll be sandwiched down at the 23-yard line. That's going to leave him about 7 shy of a first down.
Listen, I love a good screen game. It's just you can only sprinkle them in every so often. You can't run 3, unfortunately, in one possession. Against a well-coached team, they're going to figure that one out. Those first 2 were great. The first one, whenever you hadn't ran one yet, that one was beautiful.
So 4th down, just outside the red zone. They need a 16 for an Acre Pharmacy first down. Henry moves to the right side of Warrior. Another missile out. Oh, boy. Robinson had that one read from the beginning. Is Frampton, is that Deuce as well?
5.
Oh, Jaden Jaden Todd on the tackle, and so the Hornets will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, they tried to clear everybody out. They took all the receivers that were on that side, and they ran in breaking routes and tried to get all those defensive backs to run with those. But you had really two guys that had their eyes on Jacob Henry coming out of the backfield, and once he caught that ball, he didn't have a chance.
Let's go down to Jake Hall again real quick and see if he's got anything for us from the sideline.
Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
All right, cool. Man, you talk about exactly what you needed right there. They got the turnover and they get back on offense. You could see the life come back to the sideline all of a sudden. And man, what a crucial fourth down for the Senators. So really just should close all momentum out. It seems like all the momentum is on their side. So, but you heard Coach Maupin on the sideline down here. Oh no!
Across the 50, and they're not going to catch him. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6. Deuce Williams is 3 for 3 on the night. Senators lead at 20-0.
Oh, but we don't have to. Okay, I didn't know if we still had Jake.
I muted him. I'll go back to him in a minute.
I mean, and those are your momentum plays. Fourth down, and that's very similar to the timeout that Coach Up called after their turnover. Make sure your defense's head's on straight after that big change, and then we have a big change. Fourth down, we don't get it, and it's a big hit to slow it down. And the defense, they just might not be in the right headspace right there, and Deuce just breaks another big one.
So Tate on for our Kids Being Kids Therapy extra point. This is that real adversity that you're going to have to figure out something, because you had a chance. High snap here, and that one's up and good. But you had a chance after the turnover. You're moving the ball, and then you turn it over on downs, and then the very next play, Deuce Williams does his thing again. Whew.
Man, let's not act like there's not a pretty good chance he's possibly the best player in the state. I mean, you've got a couple other guys that are going to bigger schools like Frampton and all, but I mean, just a guy that's so dangerous with the ball in his hands, it's tough. You've got to be able to wrap him up, and I know Coach Maupin, listen, guys, you've got to stay in your lanes. You've got to do your job. You've got to try and get hands on him. Just make sure your teammates can get there and get you a little bit of help. But it's a tough ask for sure.
Well, and I mean, tonight so far, it's not really broken tackles. He's just finding all kinds of open space.
Yeah. His first big run was broken tackles and stiff arms, but everything after that, it's just been untouched, and guys getting moved out of the way by blockers, and then he just outruns your second and third level of the defense to the end zone.
Just a quick update, Cersei 14-6 over BB with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Tate on for our Eagles kickoff. We thought about it.
I don't know that they've given him the play whistle yet, or the kick whistle. Okay, maybe they have. I don't know what the white hat's doing.
This one just a little pooch. Boy, he gave a half-hearted fair catch signal, and he's taken down as that was Amir Armour on the tackle. It's a new name we haven't said many times this year.
Were you looking on our roster for the one that made the tackle?
No, they made the
you
return.
said on the tackle.
Sorry, on the return is what I meant to say.
I was like, well, Steve, that's why we haven't said that, because you're looking at the wrong roster if you're talking about who made the tackle.
Look, it's Thursday. That's my excuse
I don't know
tonight.
why. I mean, I think Tate could put that thing in the end zone every single time he kicks it. I guess maybe they're hoping Maumelle makes a mistake right here, but they're kicking it to about the 25-30 on that pooch. So if he kicks in the end zone, you're getting 10 extra yards.
And a PI roofing penalty.
Okay, offside. At least we're not the only ones that line up offsides.
Maybe that's where Maupin learned it. I don't know.
That's the strategy.
Or he taught it to Up. I don't know.
If you try, maybe they won't see it, and you'll have an advantage sometimes.
Cersei got away with it 6-7 times last week.
How many times?
6 or 7. I said that for my kid.
Yeah.
Because he might be watching, and I promise
and right now he's doing this. And he's giving you the stink eye.
They motion Henry.
Nothing there.
Robinson didn't want any part of it, but Warriors got room. And he'll be chased out of bounds by Campos.
Yeah, that time they saw what they did to Jacob on that fourth down where they all converged on him. And I like the idea. You're thinking, okay, we're going to do the same thing, get them to converge and sneak one of those receivers by him. But the receivers in that situation, you kind of want to get the receivers to chop their feet a little bit, set up like they're going to block, get you a pump fake, and then somebody breaks off. But all three of them just immediately went vertical and never gave Robinson even an idea that anything else was happening.
I got to figure out a way to get Christian Jackson going here.
Offsides. That guy's, he's backing up now.
Hampton limited. They'll hand it away to Wiley. A nice cut. Boy, that closed quickly.
And part of the reason that closed quickly is because it was supposed to be an outside run. So Clinty has got his hips around on his defender, and he's got his butt turned the direction that it should be. But then Wiley has to cut it. So okay.
I saw it here.
Wiley has to cut north so quick that Clinty is blocking his guy into the spot that Wiley ends up running, even though Clinty was in the position he was supposed to be.
I hope Clinty made nice with some officials today.
Hey, he was talking to him. That was a mouthpiece. Which player doesn't have a mouthpiece right now and is supposed to get kicked off? They shouldn't be out there if they don't.
Yeah, I think it was either Todd.
Frampton's got his right here.
It was Todd. Well, it looks like Todd's putting one in. It was Todd.
Did somebody have a backup mouthpiece?
Yeah, this might be the stoppage here.
No, timeout.
Equals timeout for the.
Oh, Maupin wanted a reset of the play clock.
Well, we got confusion. I go back to the kicking game situation, and we saw that last week with Cersei. It's such a weapon in the kicking game. I'm not even going to try to remember his name at this point, but their number 6 who stripped the ball out at the end of the game was their kicker as well. And, they went for that 2-point conversion earlier, which really didn't make any sense because you got a guy that's going to nail it every single time. And then they would kick. Now, obviously, they had success with the onside kick there in the second half. It really kind of turned the momentum.
Don't know that it should have been that successful, but
it shouldn't have been. But, and again, maybe that's why you're doing it, because you've seen that. You've seen the Hornets. And what was surprising about that was I went back and watched it later, obviously, and Mayweather, who had such an incredible game, he was everywhere. He was the one guy that was standing there
looking at
watching it and stuttering across. So, hey, let's go down and see if Jake Hall's ready and got anything for us. We got about a quick break here and no Deuce Williams running free.
And he's not.
No, Jake's got nothing.
Good to hear from you, Jake.
Did you ask him? What'd he say? All right, so 2nd down and 9. You lose a battery already? Oh, we weren't even on the phone together. Warrior. And
there we
caught. Go. There's Jackson. And going to be slung down inside the 30.
Great play. Good job by Levi. He had a guy in his face early, and he's able to get out of there. It's one of their bigger defensive linemen, so not as much speed, so he's able to get out of the pocket and then throw a really good ball on the run right there whenever he's running away from his dominant side. Gets those hips turned around, threw a great ball to jump man, and then really good run after the catch.
That's exact. I walked by Levi down there, and I said footwork. Because that's what we talked about at the end of last week.
That's all it is. If a quarterback, if the ball's not where they want it, 90% of the time it's below the waist.
Jackson just looked up to run before securing it, so 2nd down.
It's always the majority of the time it's not the arm that was the issue whenever a quarterback throws a bad ball. It's everything that's going down underneath below the waist. Those feet aren't set right, and if the feet aren't right, it starts from the bottom up. And if the bottom's not right, the base isn't right, it makes it much more difficult to put the ball where you want it. That's why guys like Patrick Mahomes and stuff are so good, because their base can be wherever they want. Mm-hmm. They have an arm talent that it doesn't really matter what's going on down there.
Well, and you watch, I'll come back to this in a second, as Warrior fakes it. Another screen.
That's a good one.
And they got him. Henry got to break a tackle, and he just couldn't get away from Frampton. And we got late PI roofing penalties. Another one. A lot of them flying in. And
Clinty got him one.
Didn't make nice. But, I was watching that quarterback show on Netflix, and they were Mahomes was going through those workouts that he does to get ready to be able to make those off-platform throws. It's impressive. Like, it's something else. But, having an 8-year-old who's really loves sports, and I've taken such a vested interest in what he's doing, that's something that I've tried to help him understand is the mechanics and the footwork. That's what it's all about. Whether you're hitting, you're throwing, you're pitching, you're playing football, it doesn't matter. If your feet aren't where they're supposed to be, nothing else is going to follow.
Yeah, it all starts, and it's especially younger kids. It doesn't make sense because it's like, well, I'm throwing with my arm. What does it matter what my feet are doing? But your body all works together. It's made that everything works together in unison as one. And if one thing's not right, it can throw everything off.
All right, so 3rd and long now after the penalty. Warrior.
That's a defensive
got him. He got
hold.
Henry. There it is. Henry makes the catch inside the 25, breaks a tackle before he's hit from behind. He'll be taken down at the 21, so it'll be 4th and manageable here, about 4th and 2.
You could have almost got a defensive hold right there. With Jacob, he comes up and he clips the defensive end, which is a great little strategy when you have guys coming off the edge, just somebody out of the backfield, just to get a shoulder in them to slow them down. But after he clips him, the defensive end kind of grabbed onto the shoulder pads in the little neck area of Jacob and held him up for just a second. Didn't get it there, but he ended up leaking out pretty wide open, so now a big 4th down again.
They'll go tight on this one. Isaac Warrior off the field. We got everything shaken up here as Warrior drops, looking, got its, right through the hands. I think Jordan was your intended receiver, went right through the hands of Davian. Jackson Hampton was there as well.
And that's just an issue between those two receivers, because I can guarantee you that the route concept was not drawn up for both those guys to be that close to each other whenever the ball was thrown. So somebody went the wrong direction. They broke the wrong direction right there. But those are things that in Week 10 shouldn't be happening anymore.
Well, and it was something that Jesse and I talked about several times last week on the Cersei game. Multiple times where we had guys in the same windows. And so, I was one of the guys that I love watching or listening to break down this terrible Razorback football season is DJ Williams.
He does his
such
podcast
a great
and stuff,
job,
yeah.
And I learned so much about inside and outside release after the game a few weeks ago, the Auburn game. And so, again, those concepts, people don't understand just how much goes into that. And one guy goes inside that was supposed to go outside, and now you got multiple guys in the wrong spot.
If you just watch football, you have no idea how important it is that this receiver runs outside of this defensive back and how that can throw off everything.
Yep.
And coaches that way. You have mandatory outside release.
All right, that'll do it for our first quarter of play. Senators lead it 21-0. We'll be back in just a minute.
709 Maumelle Boulevard, and let our friendly staff serve you today. Call ahead at 501-758-8800 or order online at www.ampipizza.com. Live free and eat pizza at American Pie Pizza.
All right, welcome back to Hornet Football on the Maumelle Sports Network. And let's go down to Jake Hall on the sideline.
Hey there, guys. Can you hear me?
Got you, Jake. Yes, sir.
All right. I was over here on the sideline, and Coach Moffitt was really hammering into his defense. He's reaching for the ball. Anytime you're making a tackle, reach for the ball, try to poke it out. He mentioned a couple of guys that made a sack earlier on in the ball game. He had a chance if he would have raised his arm and swiped down. He might have been able to cause a strip sack right there, but it ended up just being a sack, and he was really just slamming home that, hey, you got to be going after the ball. Got to be going after the ball because turnovers might be the deciding factor in this ball game.
Absolutely. All right, Jake, appreciate it. As they'll hand this one away to Deuce. The patience as he hits the hole. He'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down. Bring up 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, you've always got to be raking at the football defensively, especially when you're about to come make the tackle. I mean, you see it happen on people. They punch the ball out, but strip sacks are probably one of the easiest way to force a fumble. And now you got Reese coming out. They're bringing in a little bit of a different package.
Yeah, probably going to see Deuce take this snap. Although Campos is out there with him. Yep, going to be Deuce Williams and
the Wild Deuce.
Wild Senate.
Senate,
like,
just the entire Senate, not one senator?
I mean, our Senate is pretty wild.
Ball!
Ball is loose. And Campos can't get it.
It's still on the ground.
On the ground. I think it might have fell into the arms of Deuce.
Campos ended up with it.
More importantly, though, now the Senator offense all the way back at the 5, and Updegrove's going to look back on film at that one and go, why did we
Not
make
one
that
person
change?
was ready. Well, they were all standing up in the backfield. I think half the offensive line was standing up.
I'm not sure. Center got the wrong snap or heard the wrong something and just shot that back. And we've seen the Hornets, the Wild Hornet on those short yards. I'm a little surprised we didn't go with it on that fourth down that we had
Either
earlier.
of those, yeah.
So Tate on to punt here.
Get another bad snap over the head this time, maybe.
That would be great.
They've probably not done this very often this year.
Probably haven't punted
Still
since
pretty good.
Lakeside, I guess.
Good bounce. Now, yeah, okay,
Wiley off
there
the
you go.
bounce. Looking for room. And,
Oh, my gosh.
oof, whoa, we got it down his head.
It's like people
Jeez, that was Ward.
just keep getting, like, they just disappear today.
Goodness gracious. So great field position for the offense. And again, get the ball after half. So go down, get you a score here. Let that defense settle in a little bit more. Try to get you the ball back. And now you got an opportunity to get back in this thing before we get to the break.
You've got to do something. You can't essentially have them give you the ball twice in great field position and not end up with anything on the board.
Yep.
Second time that you've started on this side of the 50, and you can't let both of them go to waste.
Now you got the wind at your back, so
In empty.
should be able to throw a little more. His Senators
Got
are
him.
off sides. There we go.
Just
Better
took him a
call
second.
it this week. And so we do get the PI roofing offsides. That's on Campos.
And Campos immediately gets the break.
That's tough. Campos comes out for that that direct snap play, and nobody ready for it. And then he comes out and gets an offsides. That's a
Two
tough-
back-to-back not great play. And then whenever the ball went by him, he tried to just scoop it up with one hand instead of get on top of it.
That's that defensive lineman, though.
Scoop it and score.
Warrior. I got to get rid of that one. I think that's Warrior Benson. No, that is not.
13.
Yeah. That's going to be Matthew Mocha on the tackle.
Yeah, that's one. Levi he probably needs to let it fly right there, that first chance. But you can't hold on to it that long. I don't care who your offensive line is. You ain't got much longer than that.
Tell you what, Matthew Mocha has got a brother that can absolutely go on a basketball court. So
Does he get the Darth Vader theme song anytime he does something too?
probably.
Probably.
If not, I'm going to make Buster and Larry make that happen during basketball season this year. We may have Maumelle fans don't care, but we may have a Robinson basketball broadcast on Tuesday night. If we can
Maybe
broadcast from a
not.
church gym.
Yeah, well, some churches are set up for that.
Yeah. We shall see.
Brings up 3rd down and 4 for Maumelle.
The wind almost looks like it's flipped on us a little bit.
It's blowing towards our
Yeah.
stands now.
We are going into that wind again. You talk about reading the weather report up to Grove. Set it up perfect on the side direction they were going.
Well, we deferred, so we picked the
That's
direction.
true. They got him. Oh, Jackson turned around early.
Yeah,
Just keep going.
I guess he couldn't get his head all the way around. He was trying to find the ball, and by then it was too late. He needed to keep veering outside, and it was placed in a pretty good spot between him and the sideline where only his receiver could get to it, but he was never able to locate it.
Tyler, I feel like we need to see Levi and Christian connect on just one of these. Last week, you could feel the frustration when they kept missing, and so far tonight they've had that one connection, but that's been it. Warrior going to go to him again.
There
This
it
time
is, yeah.
Jackson makes the catch, and that'll be enough for an Acre Pharmacy first down.
Great possession catch right there, putting his body between the ball and the defender and just catching it right there. And he turtled on top of that thing. Just hold on to it because you know a guy's going to be on your back as soon as you catch it. That's the exact opposite earlier down here on the other side when he tried to pick his head up and go ahead and go run before he actually completed the catch.
Jackson Hampton, give him credit. He's toughing it out. Boy, he is struggling out there. That's a good cut. Henry, as he is close to the 10. They're going to mark him at the 11. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
It's just every time he gets that pitch out there's two Senators right in front of him that he's got to make miss as soon as he catches the ball.
Yeah, we'll go down to Jake Hall here in just a couple minutes. But he was messaging me a minute ago. These Senators hit hard. I was like, that's one of the things that flew off on tape just because I obviously pull highlights from every team every week. And that's the one thing, one of the many things about Robinson. But, boy, they want to hit you.
They fly around defensively, and they don't slow down when they get there.
Warrior fakes it, looking. It wasn't there. Now in trouble. Got to get rid of it. And a good decision there as Warrior throws that one away. Hampton hurt again.
Incomplete. He was rushed by
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him all night. And he's not he's not going to tap himself out. If I guessed, he's not going to do that. Now, at some point, a coach might be like, "Look, man, I mean, you're struggling. We don't want to hurt it more. Either way, we're still playing next week, and we don't want to further that even more and get you another week." But he's going to keep going as long as he can.
Well, and realistically, that kind of ankle sprain, it was pretty rough. I mean, you can see he couldn't walk on it when we left Whitehall. Really, at halftime, he couldn't walk on it, and I was shocked to even see him on the field last week. Ugh.
Was it on a receiver, I guess?
Isaac.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Yeah, that's the stuff we talked about all year. You can't do it. And last week we were better. We cleaned it up a little bit on the turnover, or on the penalty piece, but then we turned it over 4 times. And so far tonight we've turned it over, but we've had a takeaway as well. Now we got to limit these penalties the rest of the way. So 3rd down, and 10 now. Was 3rd and 5 as Warrior gets it and looks. And, oh, boy, had Jackson, tipped, picked, Frampton, and he could go, and he may go. That is 100. Let's see. One man is
he's going
to
yeah,
get blocked out of it, and Hakeem Frampton just went 100+.
On a tip ball.
Wow. Goodness. Norwood got a hand on it. Norwood got the hand on it, and Frampton, you're going to see him doing that a lot in the SEC over the next several years. That man can get up and get it, and he can get up and go.
And that's one of those things. Robinson likes to play you up close. They defensively, with their defensive backs, they're in your face. They're going to make you have to put the ball in a perfect spot. There's going to be some chances, but if you don't put it in the perfect spot, there's going to be a hand in there to knock it out. And that one, it just bounced up, made it for an easy catch for Frampton. Then he just had to run.
So Tate on for our Kids Being Kids Therapy extra point. It's good, and now danger territory for the Hornets. Obviously, mercy rule won't go into effect until the second half, but if we go into halftime down 35, this ball game's over.
You ain't got enough. If you're in a sportsmanship rule, you ain't got enough time to get back those 35. You could play a great half, but with that clock never stopping, it's tough to even get there.
Go back to the comment in the comment section on YouTube. Again, appreciate you guys joining us on the Maumelle Sports Network. I'm Steve Henson along with Tyler Chenault. We're talking about connections on both sides. I was down there talking with Coach Delaney. Love him to death. Coach Watson, don't hate me too much. I love all of our baseball coaches, but 2 of the best in this district. Especially now that one of them, probably the most successful of all of them, is now PA. But 2 of the best baseball coaches really in the state we've got here in PCSSD with Isaac Delaney and Nick Watson over at Maumelle. But I got a lot of connections over here between Mullet, Mr. Lightfoot over here, Delaney, Escola, Up to Grove, all guys we've worked with, and now, much to my discomfort, Coach Michael Shook is over here as an assistant principal, and he texted me the other day. So, how you feeling about basketball season? So I want to talk about it.
So the entire Maumelle basketball staff are assistant principals over here
Yes,
now.
they are. So Tate ready to put a foot into it here on an Eagles kickoff. Got to believe this one's probably going to make its way somewhere in that A in Senators. Nope, they're going to squib it. They want that 35. And whoa,
just went out of
as
bounds.
it makes its way out of bounds. And we saw this when we were at Watson Chapel and they were at Whitehall. They wanted to get to that 35 as quick as they could. Robinson did it, and then Maumelle answered and did the same thing against Watson Chapel a few minutes later. Kind of a similar thing there. You want to get that ball back and get that thing to 35, and then you really put pressure on the other team.
Yeah, with 7 minutes left, you're feeling it whether they get the ball right there or not. We've got to do something, and we've said it. And there's no difference, but you've got to be able to do something here offensively. And there's no other way to say it, but you can't let it get to that point if you really want to have a chance and stay in this one.
So the offense on the field, and Tyler, they've had some success But whether it be a penalty or just a missed throw, we've just kind of stalled ourselves every single drive.
Gotten down there close to the red zone and just stalled every single time. False start.
And a PI roofing penalty. Hits keep coming here for the Hornets. Again, got to be careful, or not only will you have a Friday night off, you'll be done early on a Thursday night. I don't get Friday night off. I will be in the beautiful city of Lone Oak with the Mills Comets tomorrow night. Tripp's a little stressed because he learned they have no power or internet in the press box at Lone Oak right now because the press box isn't finished yet. So we may do a track setup like we've done a few times. Warrior. There we go. Oh. Kutoff.
Wiley.
Oh, it was Wiley. Okay.
Had a little bit of a window there, but Levi's having to run around and makes it more difficult to put that ball where you want it to be.
Levi, that hit he took earlier, I think it was on the sack, kind of got up a little gimpy, and he's been, you see, favoring left side maybe a little bit.
He walks gingerly now.
This time, Henry right side. And we got a Robinson helmet on the turf.
Uh-oh, Clinty's down.
Oh, no. That is something you don't want to see. Really hope Clinty is okay.
He's rolling around like he's not feeling too comfortable.
Something in that right leg. What it looks like, because that's what they're taking a look at. That's obviously the heart and soul of that offensive line. I mean, watch any football, you know just how important the center position is. So lose Clinty here, that would be huge.
And he just kind of got, it's where you see offensive linemen get hurt, and why, as you get to the higher levels, you see all offensive linemen wear both knee braces. Just kind of got rolled up into, as Jacob was coming through, it looked like.
Oh, he did. He was the guy that lost the helmet. He was the backside of the play.
It wasn't his running back. It was somebody covering, but yep.
Speaking of offensive linemen that we got to say a congrats to, former Hornet Andrew Chambly, starting left tackle for the SMU Mustangs, pulled off one heck of an upset last weekend, knocking off the Miami Hurricane. I saw his mama posted on Facebook that she got to rush the field for the second time in her life, once at Arkansas a few years ago, and then again at SMU when they beat Miami last weekend. So big congrats to Big Papa, no longer Big Baby, Big Papa Andrew Chambly. As Clinty does get up, he will walk off under his own power, but very gingerly.
A big win for him. He's going to keep his head coach. His head coach signed a contract extension. No more of the murmurs of Rhett Lashley to Arkansas.
Look, don't think I haven't been messaging Andrew and saying, hey,
if he comes, you going to come back?
Come back with him? Can you give me some inside information? Is Lashley like on the way out the door? He said, we ain't going nowhere. That's what he told me the last time we talked about it. And they knew that.
And Rhett Lashley and everybody at SMU knew that from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
But you let the rumors fly, so now he's going to get a contract extension and get paid more. And I mean, it happens every year. Coaches get fired. As soon as somebody's name is mentioned, connected to a team, oh look, here's a contract extension.
Gus Malzahn made a career out of it. Now Warrior drops in trouble, scrambling. Campo, oh boy, ball's out. Going to be picked up. And
there's
Jackson Redmond inside the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6, and the route is on as the Senators are just pouring it on in every way possible here in the first half. As it is now 34-0.
Now they've got 2 defensive touchdowns as well as 3 offensive touchdowns.
34?
It is not 40-0. It's 34-0.
I don't know how you got to 40.
He
double hit the 6. He hit touchdown twice, I think.
Now it's hit the -1 6 times.
Now he's got to stop his clock.
Hey, he's working on it. He's getting there.
I ain't even mad. Because you know what? Your technical production boss could be here tonight, but he's on his couch.
Oh.
Tate's kid being kid therapy. Extra point is good.
Catching strays over here.
Hey, let's, J. Cole, you got anything down there for us? Because we're going to need you for the next couple of quarters, I think.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say anything right now. And Robinson is really just handling business right now. But Maumelle's got the energy. They just can't seem to put it together. It just seems like little mistakes here and there are causing a huge jump for the Senators to just take it over. Just little mistakes here and there, and the Senators are making them pay every single time, it feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, you see that, obviously, Robinson, from a talent perspective, probably the better team. And then, you see this kind of snowball start to roll down that hill. It's got to be hard for those guys on that sideline right now, Jake. All right. So, as we await Tate Akel's kickoff.
It's just been one thing after another. And like you said, the snowball just gets bigger and bigger every time.
This one going to be returnable to 21. Jackson nearly got tackled by a man in his back.
Ran behind a guy.
And he is run out of bounds at about the 31-yard line.
These are the situations where you're running out of things to say. Like, can we say again how important this possession is?
I'm not, because every possession is important. This one, in terms of if you really want to say we still got a chance, this one is insanely important, because if you don't score here,
you have to do something in the next.
You haven't stopped them.
In the next 6 minutes and 48 seconds, you've got to do something offensively.
I mean, realistically, you need a 6 minute and 48 second drive here. Score a touchdown.
So they can't put any more points on the board.
At least that way you could at least potentially get 2 scores back to back. Man, somebody done got towed out the parking lot.
Oh, he
Where'd
came
you
in.
park?
He circled in. I don't know if he already had a car, but it was somewhere over here. Maybe he got them and they were in the way over there.
Oh, parking's such a mess. I'll hand this one away. Is it Wiley? It is. Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Is that a face mask?
No. It must have been shoulder pad.
Are you sure? I mean, I get Wiley's small, but
10-yard gain on the play.
I mean, he had a pretty good view.
The way he went around.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets.
I
That sure looked like face mask. The way his head turned.
couldn't see where that hand ended up.
Unless he got under here and it just.
Yeah, I mean, you can grab in that shoulder pad, and it gives the same look oftentimes, especially at the angle with which he grabbed him.
Jake said it was a face mask. So that's a pretty tough bad call. Now I'll go back to Wiley. Oh, nice move. Wiley looking for open field. A good cut. And that might be the best run we've seen out of Wiley all year.
And we know he's one of the hardest guys, probably the hardest guy in space to tackle on this team. And he's getting himself in a little bit of space, and he's showing you why he's got that title.
So big Acre Pharmacy first down. There's the Hornets into Senator territory to the 34.
You just have to be able to get him into space right now.
So Levi drops. And behind Jackson on this one.
Didn't really go anywhere on that one. Maybe Jackson broke the wrong way or something, but behind Jackson, I thought maybe he was looking for Jacob early underneath. And
yeah, that was my thought. That's what I was. I mean, you had 2 guys, I mean, obviously different levels, but it was too hot for Jacob and behind Christian. So 2nd and 10. This is where the Hornets have got to keep the momentum moving in their direction. No penalty or turnover. Pressure right up the middle. Oh, Warrior this time does a good job to get it out of bounds. That was something I was going to ask you a minute ago, Tyler. Something that we've seen, I feel like, out of Levi, maybe a growth thing going forward, is knowing when to say when. Just get rid of it.
When do you give up on the play? Can live to play another down. And even on the fumble, that's something he was trying to do. He was getting turned around, and don't know for sure, but I would bet he was getting turned around to just try and get rid of that thing. Unfortunately, excuse me, when he's rolling out that direction, he's got to turn around, and he didn't know who's behind him. So as soon as he turned around, there's a guy in his face that knocks the ball out. But you just got to know when to get out of there and when to let it fly out of bounds.
Third down, Warrior going to take off.
Like he can get a hold
being
right
held
there.
by
Yeah.
Bills, and they don't call it. And Warrior goes nowhere, no gain on the play, and he is frustrated as you see the ball bouncing out of there.
Yeah, Bills was lucky he didn't get a flag on that one. Now, if 74, Patterson, if he plays a little bit more through that, as soon as he felt himself get held, he threw his arms up like, are you going to throw the flag? You got to keep fighting through it. If they see you give up that quickly, oftentimes they're not going to throw the flag on you because it didn't do anything because you gave up on the play. You just got to keep fighting through it and then get some separation so that you have a better chance of getting that flag.
Got an Ackles timeout by the Senators. You're talking about Patterson, an impressive kid, committed to Tulsa. But I go back to media days and what he said during his time there at media days, and talking about just how proud he was to be this first person in his family to go to college. And he's a kid that you root for. Even as a Maumelle fan, once he's out of Robinson, you can root for him, and he's going to have a great future. I look forward to seeing Patterson at the next level as well.
How many guys is this Robinson team sending to the next level?
Every one of them, it seems
It's like every number we call. Well, that guy's going here, that guy's going there, this guy's going here. It's like, oh, okay. Only one we don't know where he's going is Deuce.
Well, you know, if you ask Richard Davenport said he's not good enough for Power 5.
Oh, my God.
So, now, I will...
Because he's not 2 inches taller.
Yeah, I will agree with Richard in part of what he was trying to say. In this new wave of recruiting and NIL,
he's got to
and
take a couple
portal,
years and transfer.
You just sometimes it's best go to Harding and run for 2,500 yards. Somebody's
at least
gonna
like
throw
a
you money.
like UCA,
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't be on him.
He's got a couple of teammates headed there as it is, so be a good place to end up. The Warriors shovels it ahead, but boy, nothing. And we got a late PI roofing penalty.
Probably
sure if
a
they're going
hold.
to get Harris holding
Yep.
Warrior Benson.
It's going to be declined, though. That was 4th down anyway. So now is Robinson going to do their best for a 5-minute drive, or they're just going to try and score another, make you have to score 2 before halftime? I don't think it matters. I think they're just going to call plays, and if it scores, it scores.
They're probably going to hand it to 2 and let him do his thing. Grimes in on that tackle, and you know, you look at the transition here at Robinson, and I remember a couple years ago talking to Coach Escola as we were walking off the field. I think it was like week 8, and as Quentin Murphy was still here the year before he transferred to Parkview, and Escola looked at me and said, "I'll probably start about 20 of my 9th graders next year." I said, "They're that good?" He's like, "Oh yeah," and you're seeing it. This is that.
These
group.
are those 9th graders.
Yeah, this is that group and how good they were.
And Deuce wasn't here yet.
Yeah, exactly. Reese was the quarterback. He was really excited about this group, and you're seeing why. Harris off the edge, ball's out.
There it
that
is.
ball is loose, and oh no, it was scooped up, and I think Robinson fell on it, and they did.
And Patrick had it, and I mean, I cannot fault Patrick at all. That thing bounced up right where he needed it to be. And if he gets it, he might be in the end zone right now. But that's when you got to come up with either one way or the other.
Man.
The clock stopped. There we go. Now it's going.
Oh, that would have been the break you needed if Ward just could have gotten that one into his grasp and found his way to the end zone.
And it bounced up to him. It took the bounce he needed. Like, he was in great position.
Man.
Oh, Reese has hobbled a little bit after that hit. Warrior Benson coming in at quarterback. Which he did throw a touchdown last year.
Yeah, that's right. He sure did. Oh, we got balloons on the loose. Watch out for the drone. They're going straight up. Look at that. Man. And so Benson will just hand it away. And that was, I think, Petty in the backfield on that one. 7, I believe.
Let them all get up. No, it was Deuce. It was 2.
Okay. I saw 7 come out with Warrior Benson. There's Petty.
But he's out here. He's at your. He's in your quads now.
You see Petty's
Simpson back in there.
Petty's a bruiser.
Yeah, he's looks like he might be your H-back or something right here. And that's probably where he was. Or he's going to be a tight end right now.
Split Deuce out. So it'll be Simpson with an empty backfield for the moment. Let's see if they bring Deuce back with him, and they do. Sorta.
You're going to try and throw a screen.
That's Petty. Petty showing the speed. And pushed out of bounds.
It should be a little short.
Yeah, he's shy.
Yeah.
Be 3 shy of the first down.
I feel like you're pretty confident right here that you can get 3 yards running the football.
Now I feel like I don't even need to pay attention to that other game.
There's not. It doesn't. It's not going to change anything if we hold.
It's in my iPad. Don't want to show us either.
That's
They have to
halftime.
break. So 4th down and 3. Hornets showing some pressure. And up to Grove wants a timeout. So an Ackles timeout.
They call a timeout, and then the clock starts. Look, it's still running.
Hello, you pushed the wrong button down there.
It was, I guess they thought it was already started, so they thought they stopped it. Wonder if they going to give them those 10 seconds back? Because it was 3:18. It's 3:08 on the scoreboard right now. Did anybody notice, and are you going to get the 10 seconds back?
Up won't argue it. 'Cause
No, he'll take 10 seconds
He wants
off.
that 10 to go away. Again, this thing goes to the half, 35-0. We're running clock the entire second half. There's nothing you can do about it.
The refs might be talking about it.
Yeah, they're going to change it.
Nobody else was complaining about it.
Hey, I do want to say a huge congrats to all of the teams across our networks, as every PCSSD team this year will make the postseason.
First time we can say that.
Yes, well, thanks to Sylvan
Thank
Hills.
you, Coach Kelly.
Yes, and they'll play Catholic tomorrow at War Memorial Stadium for a chance to be the #1 seed. They will host at home no matter what. That's going to happen. But they could be the #1 seed out of the 6A.
They should be.
Man.
They should be the #1 seed if we can call it like it is.
I'm still mad at Mark, though. He didn't give me 100 last week. It's close. 84. 3rd time this year that Kevin Kelly's had 80 or more put on him.
They're trying to get them to put 3:18 back on the clock. There it is.
No way. Tate can run. He's a soccer guy, but they ain't fake. Oh,
They did.
Oh my
Andy
goodness.
called
Andy
it,
called
and they got
and
it.
they got it and more. Wow.
Andy called that one.
Yep.
They're trying to give Maumelle. Don't even give him a chance to get those 7 on the board to keep it.
See, Andy just showed
If he would
can
pay,
be an analyst.
if he would pay attention,
If he would watch that instead of Snapchat.
it's just like, oh, there's a flag.
Hey, we got a PI roofing penalty, though.
It's not good for Robinson. That's great for us. Gives us a chance.
Do they fake it again? On 4th and 14.
4th and probably 14.
They did. It's 3:15. So in an illegal formation.
So
let's
4th and 9.
Now, will they put it back at 3:18?
Are they going to notice it this time? Well, no, it shouldn't go back to 3:18 because that play still ran. You don't reset the clock then.
That's true. Then it should be like 3:05 because there's
it
no way
was
that was
not
a
just 3
3-second play.
seconds. Yeah.
All right, so Tate is back out there, and our Tony Romo of special teams players plays over here, Andy Gates.
What's going to happen
what are
now,
we gonna do
Andy?
this time, Andy? Okay, they're going to punt it.
He really went out on a limb on that one.
I wouldn't either.
They're not going to give you that short of a field, though, with just 3 minutes left.
Tate, good kick.
Imagine that. Why don't you catch that one?
Oh, my goodness. And Wiley in a lot of trouble.
And here
We've
comes
got
a
PI
flag.
roofing penalty. That looked like that should be another one. The penalty, I believe, is going to be on Jaden Baker. It's either Baker or Petty. They were the ones tied up when the flag came out.
I don't know why you don't catch that one.
I don't either.
It bounced. I mean, you had time to get there, and it bounced like 2 yards in front of you.
And I don't know if that's...
But you know how nervous catching punts make me anyway.
I know. Well, but I wonder, too, if that's something in Wiley's head because he does it every time. It seems like it doesn't matter how good of a kick it is. he lets it bounce.
And maybe
plays
that's
that
a coach
bounce.
thing.
Maybe so.
Because I get so nervous when watching, because catching a punt is different than catching a pass. That ball is not doing the same thing it is whenever a pass happens. So, and it's a completely different skill set, and it makes me nervous every time. I don't care who it is, college, NFL, high school, catching punts make me nervous because it's difficult to do.
Still waiting on the call here of our PI roofing penalty.
Well, we have a flag that was down here that's now been picked up, and there's another one up there between the 30 and 35.
Oof, that's a tough one. So now, if you want to have any chance when you start the second half, you're going to have to go about, what, 90, right at 90 yards here.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're parked on the east parking lot,
which is
Burgundy Toyota Hilux.
Not mine.
me.
It's on license plate DFG7. It's on license plate DFG7.
If you haven't been out here,
You're blocking the exit. People are already leaving.
it might be. This place will empty after halftime when the band plays.
Yeah,
Like, they
all
love
the
their band
parents,
here.
yeah.
Man, that was the thing we learned real early when we built the Robinson Sports Network was you
Yeah.
better have that band on there, and they're going to give you the script, and you're going to know everything about them, and you better say
And
every single word.
we got a lot of comments making sure that the band was
Yes.
on. I thought they said half the distance. Why is it on the 1 yard line?
That is, what are we doing?
That's what Maupin's asking. There's no penalty should ever put you on the 1 yard line unless you are on the 2.
Right.
Like there is no penalty that puts you on the 1.
If the penalty was all the way out at the 18, this ball should be at the 9. They're going to go with it.
There is no way.
So we are officially 99 and a half yards away. So they're saying the penalty was at the 1. If this is
I
what,
guess so. But nobody was. But it still wouldn't be
from where he possessed it initially. Okay.
not where the hold took place. Okay.
Hornets dropping. Warrior avoids pressure. What a job. And Warrior,
Takes punishment for it.
he did, but gets the Hornets out of a tough spot. And I keep looking down there to see if I can find a yellow marker in that end zone. Thank goodness there's not.
Now he's limping even worse after that one.
And again, and at some point, now obviously you're not going to do it here. You want to make this game a 35-7 game and have a chance to come back in the second half. But at some point, you got to start looking to the postseason and know we're playing there no matter what. We got to be healthy. They were all over that screen. Warrior, and might get
We
broken.
had-
We might get out of this. As,
We had a receiver laying on the ground.
oh, that was a late one.
Did he just now throw it, or did he just now get it out, or are they calling a second one on him?
I don't know. He threw it right at the feet of Frampton.
Because if so, you got one during the play and you have one after the play. Double up for 30 yards.
He's up out there trying to get an explanation. Frampton has already come off the field.
The ref was just saying, had his hands up here like you had illegal hands to the face. And I wondered, did he throw it? Did he just get his flag out late? Which at that
Maybe
point, you
so.
saw the other guy's flag. Why did you actually have to throw yours?
Make sure his was out there. He's got a quota.
It's
I do
every
love
flag's an extra 50 cents or something for the game.
I do love our PA guy here with his choice of music. The PA folks here do a fantastic job. I can't remember the lady's name that did the PA and music for the Robinson Invitational. We do get the defensive hold, but they were awesome. You talk about being spot on in every single moment. Now we did have to make them move the speakers because it was a little rough, but fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. Coach Delaney puts on probably one of the most premier baseball tournaments in the country.
My nephew's going to be playing in it this year.
Warrior. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's a heck of a throw. Did Jackson come? Oh, he didn't. Man.
Yeah, that's my nephew. His first game that he plays at Marlton. So what's your first game this year? He said, well, we're playing in some big tournament thing in
boy.
Robinson. I was like, oh, gosh. I said, I know what you're talking about.
And Delaney, we were talking in pregame about that down on the sidelines, and he said, you think we had studs at it last year? He said, we got a team coming. Their reliever throws 97 consistently. Their reliever.
They
So
got-
I remember a team out of Nebraska. It's a team out of Nebraska. coming.
Nebraska. My goodness gracious.
They have
Coming out of Nebraska.
They have 99 teams coming this year. 99 teams across 10 locations. By the way, if you'd like to sponsor the broadcast, call me. This one costs.
You got national coverage for that. So, you could reach a lot of people. There's going to be people in Nebraska that are watching that stream.
Kansas City area is going to be well represented. Now Staley's coming back. My son's favorite player, Diesel Purnell, will be back.
Don't try and tell me that baseball's a dying sport.
No. Warrior, boy, he is having to make a route to get around that pocket. And Henry held on to it. Maybe 2 on the play.
Gonna have to get a few chunk plays right here, though. Minute 40 left.
But yeah, 10 different locations, 99 teams. Every single PCSSD school will be a host site.
You can have a broadcast at every site.
We will not be able to do 10 sites, I promise you that.
He's
he's
early.
all over his back. There's the PI roofing penalty flags.
And then we get the booze. No, he's definitely early.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got an injured Senator, too. Is that?
It's a Norwood.
Warriors pass ball is incomplete. Defended by number 8, Damon.
Yeah, we would love to be able to do all 10. Baseball logistically is already a problem.
So I guess I got to make sure that you have somebody at the site that Marlton's playing at.
They're playing here. You can guarantee it if they're on this field.
They don't even know if they know yet. You won't know actual placements for a while, will they?
I mean, I think Delaney has it all laid out already because most of the big games will be right here. And then we'll see what he does amongst the other sites. But I'm a little disappointed. PA is not one of the host sites this year.
That corner's almost lined up offsides.
Now Warrior, look out. Coming from behind and sacked. As there's Warrior Benson.
That's a guy. Those are cousins right there.
Yep.
That's why you see the little tab. But it's a little wild seeing how Warrior Benson is used at different places. Like he's coming off the edge.
Yeah.
And then he he was your safety and one of your outside receivers last year. And it's a different defense and a different setup of players and different skill sets across your other positions.
Second down and 17 to go.
This one handed away to Wiley. Oh, my gosh. There's where being a little smaller does not help you out for Wiley.
I think Caleb Smith comes in there and just swallowed him up.
So third down, Hornets have 29 seconds as they're going to call a timeout.
I'm going to try and get something drawn up right here. Get them down there where they can at least do something.
This is, again, I've said it many times tonight, but Hornets have to get points. It doesn't matter if it's a field goal, any points. I mean, obviously you want the touchdown. That's what
if you could get an extra point without scoring a touchdown, just 1 point right now.
Figure out a way to somehow get a safety on the Senators right now. Anything at least keeps you in the game to some extent.
Not down 35 going into half.
We got a timeout. Let's go down and see if Jake Hall has got anything for us from the Hornets sideline. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, it looks. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I learned a rule the other day, something about how you're able to score at least 1 point in a football game. It was something about if you fumble it in the end zone and then take it back out and then somehow it ends back up in the end zone again, it's 1 point. I think it has to be on a 2-point conversion. But I don't know. I'm just running. You guys, you're just talking about points now, and now I'm just running through the scenarios where we can just try to get a point here and make it not 35-0.
Yeah, well,
not what they
that's not
drew
going to
up.
help as Warrior is dumped. That'll be a sack as he loses a yard. It'll be fourth.
Now it's
and
probably
forever
going to
here.
go down to 0 right here.
Well, we have a timeout left, don't we?
Yeah, but I mean,
But I'd burn it. You have to try to score here. Like, hey, look, if Maupin's going to go to the indoor and then run to half midfield.
yeah, he called it.
Okay,
He
I was
called
about
it.
to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Senators and the fans think it's halftime, but
Now that whistle blew before the buzzer. Yeah.
hey, if there's anybody on this football field that's great at getting the last second timeout,
Making you think it's halftime.
It's Maupin. Andy, a minute ago, we were talking about the cousins and Warrior Benson and Levi. And it might be a tough Thanksgiving. Well, guess what? If you want, most likely, if you want to see Warrior Benson around Thanksgiving, you're going to have to watch him play football because they're going to be playing on Black Friday. I would almost bet it.
Unless something crazy happens, but So far, I mean, coming up into this week, everybody says they're the best team in 5A, and we were hoping we could kind of find a little cracks there. We haven't found any of those yet.
I don't really want to talk to Updergrove after this, though, because in pregame I walked down and I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Not 31-0 at half this time. Well,
He said, okay.
He said, okay, I'll do 35.
Thanks, Steve.
It's all my fault. So 1 second on the clock, and hey, maybe we'll see the hook and ladder play again.
Us. Hook and ladder. It's gonna be something. It can't just be drop back and throw it. That hadn't worked out quite before, and you know they're gonna be pinning their ears back.
I think in the second half, so Avery figured out while he was down there, he's like, hey, for some reason I can pull all of your feeds. So he has like every one of our cameras on his production truck down there. And so I was like, yeah, maybe we should let him use all our feeds in the second half.
They're just gonna run both.
Maybe so. I gotta figure out how he did that though, because that would be real helpful tomorrow. Mills.
Now you got Warrior Benson. He was a pass rusher 2 plays. Josiah Warrior Benson was a pass rusher 2 plays ago, and now he's one of your deep safeties.
I was so surprised when I went back and started watching some film on him, and just to your point a minute ago, all the different ways they use him here versus there. You know, and initially he was going to end up at Little Rock Christian. I remember we were at Christian for the Maumelle Christian basketball game, and Warrior Benson come around the corner. He's like, and they said he transferred there, and I guess that didn't work out. He ends up here. So
it's a lot harder to transfer to private schools now.
And over the middle, another lateral. Jackson's got it.
Oh, he had Wiley.
And no help there as Frampton dumps him, and that'll do it for our first half. So it'll be a running clock in the second half. We hope that you'll join us for whatever entertainment we can bring you. But in the meantime, hang around for the Senator Sound Band. There will be no Hornet Band performance, so maybe another reason for you to stop watching. I hope not. But we'll be back with more Hornet football in the second half. We're on the Maumelle Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Looking to upgrade your space with quality American-made products? Look no further than Eagles Flooring and Cabinets. It's our Made in the USA sale, where you can save big with up to 50% off store-wide. But that's not all. Enjoy no interest for 36 months. We'll even pay your sales tax. Install before the holidays at Eagles Flooring and Cabinets, where we make it beautiful for less.
My name is Brandon Aker. I'm the owner and pharmacist here at Aker Family Pharmacy in Maumelle. So here in our pharmacy, we like to focus on a hyper-personalized relationship with our patients, and that continues into our service sets. So we offer free delivery, curbside vaccinations, as well as custom compounded medications, including extended hours as well. I think you don't know the level of intimacy that you're going to get with your patients until you really get in it, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
Hello?
Hello, roofers are us.
Hello, your ad says same-day leak repair. I called yesterday and nobody has been out.
That was a typo in the ad. It was supposed to say someday roof repair. Who you think we are? PI Roofing?
If you have a leaky roof, you need it fixed right away. Call your roof leak detectives at PI Roofing and get the leak stopped right away. We're ready at a moment's notice all year long. Call 501-687-6246 for same-day roof repair from PI Roofing.
Come see us today at American Pie Pizza. Enjoy our pizza by the slice daily from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Or catch one of our daily specials like $2 Tuesdays and get $2 off any large pizza. Are wings more your thing? Monday nights are Wingtastic Mondays. So get all the wings you can eat for just 69 cents a wing. And don't forget about the incredible cheese dip. Then to finish it all off, be sure to grab a Pizookie or one of our other amazing desserts. So head over to 9709 Maumelle Boulevard and let our friendly staff serve you today. Call ahead at 501-758-8800 or order online at www.ampiepizza.com. Live free and eat pizza at American Pie Pizza.
All right.
There's your battery.
Welcome back here to Charlie George Stadium. Hornet football on the Maumelle Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. I'm Steve Henson, along with Tyler Chenault and Jake Hall on a headset. I think you can talk.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
I
up here.
think you
I'm
can
here.
talk. Not I think we can hear you. I think you can talk.
So we let Jake get off the sideline and join us up here. So it'll be Hornet football to start the second half, but we will have a running clock as it is to make Will mad. Mercy rule time.
That's fine. He's not watching. He's just hanging out at the house. He won't know that you said it or not.
You know, I don't know how this is possible, but the wind feels stronger down there than it does up here.
I think that it's turned. I think the building behind us has kind of helped because when it was coming that direction, we were holding on to everything.
You could hear it.
Yeah.
You could hear it in the headsets.
Hey, also tell Will that was the Robinson band, so we don't cape.
Will, so the one message we get about the band is from Robin.
Well, of course, the band nerd's going to say something.
I ain't calling him a band nerd on air. Here we go.
Love you, Will.
He's going to drive up here. Luckily,
No,
he
he
ain't going to have
won't.
time to get back. He ain't going to have time to get here.
Hey, you worry about Little Rock Christian tomorrow. All right, so Tate for Akel's kickoff.
Look how far that goes, and he just barely touches it.
Into the wind. And, well, man. Again, we talked about it in the first half, the team speed for Robinson. And Jake got to see some of it firsthand down there, the hits. And this team, they're not going to stop. I mean, they're going to keep doing this for the entire 4 quarters we play. And they stopped the clock for us, thanks. Now they're winding it
There
up.
we go. Jake he said when he got back up here, he's like, they're flying around with reckless abandon. Like, they don't care if they hurt their own bodies or somebody else's.
No, they are out there busting some heads for sure.
And it shows up on film. Like, again, you see it out of these guys. And yeah, it's a really good football team. I don't want to sit here and sound like we're the Robinson crew, but this is a great team. And our Hornets, we've got a good team. We're just not quite at this level.
It just shows you the areas for growth that are still needed. And it's still a young, in the grand scheme of things, when you're comparing both teams, it's still a young program compared to Robinson. Escola, I don't even know how many years Escola had been here building the foundation. Building the foundation that Coach Updegrove is now just continuing to build upon. And then, Coach Maupin, he followed up Kurt Horton, who had started a little bit, but there's not a whole lot of history there to build on.
This one, Robinson all over him in the backfield as they go to Kutoff on that one. Kutoff, the former senator, is here for a couple years before transferring to Maumelle.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
That's what you get for saying it feels stronger.
That's my bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Way to go, Jake.
It hurt you.
So 3rd and long. And Coach Maupin, running clock in the second half, maybe resting some guys. No Jacob Henry to start the second half.
Robinson has already started that. You got a whole new set in.
And Warrior, that's a good catch over the middle, and he's got enough for an Acre Pharmacy first down.
I imagine you won't see a Jackson Hampton. You probably won't see a Jacob Henry, who's been banged up all year. He's played great for a guy that has had issues with health all year. But yeah, you mentioned it in the first half. You've got to also keep an eye on next week in playoffs and make sure that you're as healthy as you can be moving into the playoffs.
Warrior, they'll hand it away. Kutoff. And he's trying to take a couple of Senators for a ride. Somehow Jalen Harris wound up on the bottom of the pancake.
I think that was a linebacker that he rode all the way to this side of the field.
You were walked away when I was saying this earlier. Jake Clinty, his night's definitely done. He had his pads off before halftime, and he was still limping around on the sideline. So hopefully, I'm not sure if he's going to be back for the next game either.
Hopefully, it's just his night and not the season.
Absolutely. Pitch it out.
That Winchell Wiggins.
Okay. And I think Harris is hurt.
Okay, now he's moving at least. You can't lay there for that long without moving, big guy.
Yeah, he got up quick from being down. They will replace him as they had to stop play for him laying there. So 52.
Winchell Wiggins, he's one of those younger guys. Ninth grader last year, so just a sophomore. You're going to start seeing a couple more of those guys, obviously, tonight. See if they can't show something, kind of show you what's to come, because we're losing a lot, especially skilled guys from this group.
Well, that's awesome. I had to remind myself, David Jordan is a junior. And that one, oh, boy, pressure forced Levi to have to get rid of it quick. But, you know, we were talking during the halftime break in terms of, obviously, you don't want to look ahead to, like, there's still playoffs to play.
Right.
It's a big games to come up. But you do, I mean, naturally, as, you know, broadcasters, we start looking ahead and thinking about next year. You know, Levi loses this entire receiving core outside of Isaac. And so this is an opportunity to see some guys. We got to see a little glimpse of what Davian Jordan can bring, the speed last week against Cersei when he broke off that big touchdown catch. So good to see Jordan still on the field out there getting a few reps here in this one as Levi being chased. That's a good job to get. Oh, the ball just hung up too long, and they're going to be shocked if there's not a PI roofing penalty on Isaac.
No, he was still fighting the whole time. There wasn't any way to know exactly where he was, but hey, he's losing all of his wide receivers. He's losing all of his backfield as well. So I mean, he's losing some guys up front.
Yeah,
there's just a bunch of pieces. It's going to be Levi, it's going to be Isaac, and then that's about it.
I asked Andy to run this because we talk about the footwork for Levi and what he needs to work on. I was saying in the moment, I liked how he turned and got himself square. But again, he had no base, to your point earlier.
No feet on the ground.
And while he's throwing it, that caused that ball to hang up there in what is already a windy night, an easy interception for the
That's one that you just want to throw that one out of bounds.
Simpson
Screen.
Still in there. He throws that one at the feet of Petty.
Still got a few guys. They still got Frampton down here at receiver. They got a few guys still on offense.
I bet you don't see any Deuce the rest of
He
this
might
one.
have taken his pads off already.
I wouldn't blame him.
So I haven't gotten eyes on the freshman team, but I've heard really good things about their freshman team that they have from Maumelle. So I know that's something that you guys are talking about going on into the future.
I think Coach Maupin said their freshman team beat the Robinson freshman team. Yeah.
Well, you look. I mean, Evan Wallace. Oh, whoa! If he'd have kept his feet,
Should have been a penalty, but it went right to the ref.
That was Bryson Cunningham.
I think it's at least a delay of game if you spike the ball.
But no, to your point, the freshmen that are coming, and a lot of them are already on this roster. You know, Marshawn Wiley's little brother, Amarion, very good player, a little thicker than Marshawn. Not much taller, but a little thicker than Marshawn. Evan Wallace is a guy, though, that I think is getting people to take notice right now. Size-wise as a freshman, let's see, Evan is – I'll look at that here in just a second. But as they'll hand it off again to Cunningham, and Cunningham has got an Acre Pharmacy first down.
6 foot 180 on the roster.
And still, obviously, as a freshman, plenty of time. And you can look at his frame. There's room to grow there. I don't know who I saw that put it out. It was some probably goofy account on TikTok. But they listed the top underclass quarterbacks coming up. I guess we were talking freshmen and sophomores. Yeah. And Evan was in that top list along with guys like Aaron Orville at PA and others. And so, and now I'll say this as well. I don't know if he's on this roster, but there is one coming for Robinson. I forget the name at the moment, but there's another one. And I think he was listed as like the number 2 quarterback in the state as a freshman.
According to whoever this was.
Yeah, it was who knows? I mean, it could be anybody. I mean, I think it was maybe the same group that put out that the most disappointing teams in the state were like Central, and like you can't be disappointed if you knew it was coming.
If you've not been good for the past 20 years, I don't know that disappointing. They've got some names on their roster, but that if you hadn't won anything previously, I don't know how.
Central being disappointing started 20 years ago. Now they're just an afterthought at this point. This one thrown up. That's a great throw. Just couldn't bring it in.
Once you had more than one high school in the Little Rock metro area, it started to become disappointed at Central. Back when they got every single Little Rock athlete, well, they're pretty good.
Post-Houston nut. Things went downhill at Central. But.
So what we're saying is Little Rock should consolidate all their high schools back to Central so they'll have a good football team again.
Or, just go hire Boulding again. Let him coach every Little Rock school.
North and south of the river.
Yes. Everybody gets their turn with him.
Yes. they better get their turn with him this year because he's going to have North Little Rock turned around quick. Look at Cunningham. Talk about quick.
Hey, it's coming back.
Come back. Take the American Pop Pizza touchdown off the board.
Feel sorry, Cunningham. He's hyped, but yeah, how he saw it. Poor kid. He's throwing a fit back there now.
Yeah. Look what he's doing.
That's my first grader does stuff. Not even her. My 3-year-old. That's how she acts whenever I tell her that she can't draw on herself with her Sharpies.
I mean, I look like my 8-year-old Diesel out there, but that is great.
That's probably a kid that you would love to be around. He's probably a great locker room guy.
Oh man, that's awesome. Hey, since we're trying to find things to talk about in the second half, I'll talk some Hornet basketball for a minute.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, look, I went to the scrimmage on Monday, and they've got some pieces. They're not a big team by any means. Jordan Harris, hopefully, sir, you play because they need every inch of your 6'7" frame. Might as well get Jalen out there too, at least to clog something up. It was nice to see Nate Brackett. They do expect Brackett to be a big piece of basketball. It may not be until about January, but he will be back. He's in programs with Band-Aid right now, so some chance for Brackett to make a big impact. But this one caught and taken down at the 10. Is now
Warrior Benson.
The soccer sounders start going. I heard enough of those during that Robinson run to a state title in boys and girls soccer.
And the girls got their rings at halftime.
Yep.
Now, I don't know. I haven't been here all year, so maybe they gave the boys their ring earlier. But, of course, Escola would make sure his
Senior
girls get
night.
it.
Of course.
Senior night, the biggest stage. Everybody's here. Yeah, we're going to give it to our girls team.
I didn't know their boys team won state as well.
Yep.
I knew their girls did. I didn't know the boys did, too.
Yep.
Wow.
I was there front and center, got to produce and direct them.
I think they lost their boys' coach. Their boys' coach went to coach at Conway. Did you hear about that?
Do what?
Their boys' soccer coach went to Conway.
Yeah.
It's
It's Escola's son.
Escola's son.
Escola.
Yeah,
that was his son?
He's the girls' coach at Conway now.
Okay.
He messages me about every few weeks asking me to he wants media days for soccer bad. And it's logistically it's a nightmare because if we do soccer, then we're going to have to do baseball and softball. And you talk adding volleyball this year was a huge undertaking. Kyle Sutherland and those guys deserve just a ton of credit for the work that they put into that. Chris Boyd as well as Nigel and those guys, they put a ton in. Will does a little bit of work, I guess, to get production up. But,
don't give him too much credit.
I thought Jonathan did way better production in basketball media days, but whatever. Simpson going to throw a fade. Warrior Benson. Oh, good D.
Darius Glover did good getting it out of Warrior Benson's hands right there.
You like that? You like
With
the
the
celebration?
strap.
Oh, dude, I love that one. That might be my favorite celebration I've ever seen on the football field.
Listen, in that moment, I'll give it to him. He actually did.
He broke the pass up.
break it
Half the time, defensive backs don't do anything, and they give the strap symbol.
Ball stoned 30 yards over their head, and he's giving the strap. Like, bro. Like,
He did. He
on.
knocked that right out of Warrior Benson's hand. It was good defensively.
Bryson Cunningham, and give him 6 as Cunningham goes in.
He finally gets that touchdown that he lost earlier.
He can stop his fit. Look at him. Look at him run off the field now. High stepping off the field. Or by the way, Jake, I know you got to jump back into play-by-play last week for the Robinson game, and I heard you steal my give him 6. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I stole it. I stole it for sure. I was.
Well, so listen, Tyler should know this actually. I stole it. Hey, there's us. Look at there. Hey. I actually stole that.
Over there. Oh, there she is.
Oh, okay.
Is our kids being kids therapy extra points good? But I actually stole that from Aaron Weatherford after the one game he did here.
I was about to say, I didn't have much time to figure out if he stole it or not.
But now I put the twist on it with the
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6.
But and we all got to have our thing. I mean, Jay Burr pops the smoke after every Sylvan Hills touchdown. So
He's popped a lot of smoke this year
Yes, he
as
has.
compared to previous.
The best part is I've used the AI-generated captions for some of the highlight videos, and it puts a cigarette up every time. And I just do it. I put it in anyway.
It's
great.
It's there now.
Yeah.
Well, I did play-by-play before, but I hadn't done it in so long. It was like I was walking, and all of a sudden I was sprinting real fast, and so I stole that one from him, and if I had more time to think about it, I'd be able to come up with a bunch more, but I just kind of went with it for the night.
Hey, by the way, that was the end of the third. We're headed to the fourth.
Yeah, fourth quarter now.
I missed that. Thanks, Andy.
There's 2 possessions.
I'll say this, though, Jake. Last year, you and Chris Gay, I thought, did a great job for two guys figuring it out because, it's Chris's first year to do, play-by-play outside of class structured stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was really your first time outside of when you first started with us to do color. And one of my favorite, Jake may be the king of the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the little remarks of just, great little
the puns.
The pun. There you go. Now you're not Jay Burr is the pun master.
He can do some. He's very good at that for sure.
It's like the Chris Berman stuff. It's just I thought you did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And so we're fortunate. Look, when Steve Sullivan walks up to me at a basketball all-star event and says, "How do you continue to find so many great commentators?" Hey man, we've been blessed. So our Eagles kickoff returnable across the 35 and taken down at the 38-yard line. I think the one good thing is at least we'll be well rested for wherever we're traveling to next Friday night.
Do we know what our options would be?
It's either going to be War Memorial Stadium.
There's 7 options.
Or one. It's either going to be we're either going to Hot Springs or War Memorial.
I wouldn't mind a rematch with Parkview. I think this team now does better than they did earlier on in the year.
I hope you're right, but I don't want to see it.
You think is it a cursed matchup?
I just get that feel that it's they're in their head at this point. And Maupin made a very interesting comment earlier in the year. I believe it was on one of our pregame swarms, talking about how the team wasn't going out with that wide-eyed look of like, oh, we're playing Money and we're playing Elston and all these guys because now they're all gone. And so maybe that played into the first half of the matchup earlier this year. But at the end of the day, I think I'm not sure that mindset-wise, I think I don't know that the results would be any better, but I'd much rather see us go up against Lakeside or Hot Springs.
Somebody we haven't seen every year for the past 3 or 4 years, and that have beaten us every year for the past 3 or 4 years. Mindset is big going into, especially to start those games.
Evan Wallace, the freshman, is on the field as he trying to find some space.
Evan Wallace, the quarterback for Maumelle on that play. Quarterback keeper. Gain of about 4.
We're not winning, sorry.
No. Said we got an echo.
Do we?
Billy's hearing it.
I'm wondering if you're getting echo from PA across all of our headsets, though.
I wonder. We're a lot closer to. I don't know.
Maybe so. Wallace tosses it out, caught by Glover. Breaks some tackles.
A little bit of a run out your catch there too by Glover.
Robinson with a bunch of 9th graders on the field now.
Let's go back to the rosters. Parkview's up 40-14 on Camden Fairview right now. Which there's so much going into that conference too as to who ends up where.
Oh, they were all over him in the backfield on that play.
Kutoff.
You think they'd know how to say it since
he was here.
Spent some time here.
There's Mocha again. So
The game that will decide basically where we're going to end up next week will be played tomorrow night as Hot Springs and Lakeside will
The
play.
Hot Springs versus Hot Springs.
Yes.
Okay.
And this one, Medlin broke
okay.
it. Still on his feet. And that'll be really close, maybe a yard shy of an Acre Pharmacy first down.
That's Winchell Wiggins again. A good strong run by him.
I have an idea who's going to come away with the win in that game tomorrow night.
Between Hot Springs and Lakeside?
Yeah.
Hot Springs?
I was going to say Lakeside.
A Hot Springs? Somebody, a Hot Springs team?
Yeah,
Hot
Springs, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. You know, that Hot Springs, the Lakeside quarterback's the one that won the Golden Arm Award or whatever at the Wise Guys games.
Wally Wolcott. The most non-football name you'll hear. Boy, he can sling it now. Yeah, Lakeside at 5-1. If Lakeside can win, then they create the perfect little triangle in the South. And I think what I heard, I have no idea how the tiebreakers lay out in the South, but I believe Parkview would be the one in that scenario. That's a nice run across the 20.
And then if Lakeside, so then Lakeside would end up being the 2.
Again,
because
I don't know
they're
how the
head-to-head.
tiebreaker points would work. Oh,
Because
yeah,
they would have
yeah.
been the head-to-head against Hot Springs.
Correct. But if Hot Springs wins, they're the 1, and then Parkview's the 2, and that's where we'll go.
Guess we'll see.
Yep. We'll know tomorrow night.
Maybe not till Saturday morning. Get all the tabulators going for the playoffs.
Yeah, Bobby Swafford, the AAA, got some work to do.
You know, if you're a fan of parity in sports leagues, it's kind of hard. I mean, this is where you find the parity. It seems like every single year it comes down to like 3 different teams that might have a shot at being the conference champion and every single level of the 5A conference, it feels like.
Well, this might, though, be the first time in a while that the 5A felt more open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew Parkview was rolling through in the last 3.
Right.
And now with Brad Bolding no longer there, things have changed a little bit. And obviously, kind of like what's going to happen to Robinson after this year, they're going to graduate a ton of Power 4 talent.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we'll see how Robinson responds next year. But they've obviously, this is becoming Championville over here. The baseball team lost in the state championship last year. Of course, boys and girls soccer both won. And then now football with a great chance. Ooh, nice tackle in the backfield. Campos back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, if football doesn't win it this year, it's a disappointment.
Jake Witten on the tackle, sorry. Yeah, you're right, Tyler. I mean, again, because you look and it's just, I mean, who out of the West in 5A?
Greenbrier right now is their biggest out of the West.
Again, we learned last year. Now they're better this year than they were last, but we learned last year. You shut down Hassan and they become a much more beatable team. That ball.
Which that's harder. It's easier to say than to do.
Which I think
Hassan has been impressive.
I was looking at the Greenbrier schedule. I don't think they've had to go through as many tough games as Robinson has.
But have they though?
I mean, not that many. I'm just saying Searcy and Maumelle is tougher than anybody that Greenbrier's had to face all year.
The final stretch.
I mean, they beat Farmington. Yeah. Farmington's a good team this year. Marlton's not a bad team this year that they had to beat. They played a couple, and that's all. This conference had three top tier teams. Obviously, looks a little bit different for the third team of those 3 tonight with Maumelle and what we're looking at. But they're top heavy conferences.
Yeah. The turnover on downs. Robinson offense back on the field with 4:28 to go. Again, we will be on the road next week, so make sure you join us. And we'll either be, again, as I said, at War Memorial Stadium for a matchup with Parkview, or at either Lakeside or Hot Springs High. Hot Springs High is an interesting place to call a football game from. We will be in the, in essence, a closet. I got to call a game with Trip Keeter in that closet last year.
You know, I think I've been to... Ball.
Is it still loose?
I think Bryce Mooney got it.
Please tell me. There we go, Bryce.
Hey.
It's a way to wrap up the regular season. Mooney has battled all year. He's been fun to watch. Good to see him get a fumble.
No, I was saying, though, I think I've been to Lake Hamilton High School and I've been to Lakeside High School, but I've never been to Hot Springs High School. I'm not even sure where it is in Hot Springs.
It is a very unassuming spot. It sits in a hill, like kind of in a valley behind, that's what, Higdon Ferry, right? I guess, whatever it is. It's in an interesting, you wouldn't expect there to be a school where it is. And especially, like, football field's kind of weird to get to, where it sits on the property.
It's the only one I've not been to.
I don't know that I've been to Lakeside. I've been to Lake Hamilton. Like I said, last year I called Parkview Hot Springs. And then, of course, as a company.
There's the ball.
Oh, boy.
I think he ended up back on top of it, yeah.
But as a company, we really got our biggest start and break at Hot Springs High because we broadcast the 5A state basketball tournament from Hot Springs High back in 2021. And so I was very familiar with that place after calling 28 games in 9 days. So Diesel and I lived in a camper on the lake for basically 10 straight days.
At least you're on the lake.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you were going to talk about that time you got on Sports Center. What was that? I think it was me and you. It was Sylvan Hills against Lake Hamilton.
It was Lake Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yep. The three-quarter court heave.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that whole thing, though, is whoever was the guy on ESPN, he said, yeah, must not be too excited about basketball there. There's like 2 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the game started at 1 in the afternoon in the middle of a school day. So, yeah, I don't think many people are going to be there. We appreciate you guys joining us for our Hornet podcast here in the second half.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to get DPI on the PI roofing penalty.
Yeah.
I thought he one-handed it.
I did too. I was about to freak out.
He almost had
Steve started screaming before the hands came up for a touchdown again. That's his one rule, and he still doesn't follow it.
When we're down 42-0, all rules are out.
You did it last week, too. I put it in the comments that she started yelling before the hands went up.
That was Jackson's fault for dropping.
Oh, here we go.
If Christian would have just caught them all. Yeah. He had it, though. It was in there.
It was put in a great spot.
It was close.
That's a freshman that threw that ball in there. It's like once Levi leaves, it looks like you might be in pretty good hands still.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, I think Wallace is well-respected, well-regarded. We'll see how he develops. Again, if there's an echo, we do apologize.
We blame it on the producer.
Definitely Andy's fault.
No, it's Will Watkins' fault. Everything's Will's fault.
The head producer.
That's right.
Executive producer, isn't that?
We call him engineer, executive. I don't know.
I think you got to go to college to be an engineer.
I mean, he did, just not.
You got to go to engineering school to be an engineer.
That associate's degree.
They don't just give those titles out. I don't think.
They do in the media world. Because Nate Johnson was an engineer this past weekend, and no, I love Nate, but he does not have an engineering degree.
Hey, before the end of this game, I wanted to ask you, Steve. You're the man with the sources. Is it Ryan Silverfield?
You're talking to the wrong guy.
You're the guy with the sources,
no,
man.
No, I am not. You not remember what happened? You probably don't. You weren't there. That'll probably be the last play of the ball game. But what I was going to say, when we hired Sam Pittman, my sources told me it was Lane Kiffin all day. To the point that on our podcast, I took an egg over the head for being wrong. So
I don't remember that. I don't recall. I don't recall that.
Between Muss and the craziness of getting Cal.
Yeah.
Now this. That's going to do it here from Charlie George Stadium. It was a rout tonight, fellas. Robinson wins it 42-0, and they are the 5A Central Conference champs. Searcy at last check was up 21-6 over BB. So Searcy will be the 2, our Hornets will be the 3, and we'll be traveling for the postseason. And stay tuned because we will let you know by Saturday where we are headed. Maybe even late tomorrow night. But tough one here tonight. Jake, I'll come to you first. Any thoughts, final thoughts as you shiver yourself and get ready to get off this press box.
This is a hard game to end your regular season on. But if you're Coach Maupin and the rest of this Hornet squad, you got to just be able to shake things off, move on, because you got a really big game coming up next week that you need to have all of your focus on. This is a tough team that you played, and you might, who knows, you might see them later on down the road. But right now, you need to be focused on your next opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Jake hit the nail on the head. You've got to go in, you've got to watch the film, you've got to figure out what went wrong, right? We know that there was a lot of talent on the other side, but there's not 42 points to 0 difference in talent on the other side. So you got to go in, figure out what went wrong, and then you just have to move on. This cannot linger past tomorrow. Watch film, move on to next week, and whoever it's going to be, you can't let this take you into the playoffs and let it affect you in first round.
My final thought is this. I looked at last year in this game, and of course we asked, hey, let's start fast and finish fast. Neither one happened, unfortunately, tonight. Same thing happened last year. 31-0 at the half. I think first possession of the second half, Robinson went up 38-0. It was running clock. But what we saw, we went into the postseason against a Greenbrier team with an Akasan who everybody was like, oh, they're going to run shot over Maumelle. They're going to win that game. And we won it 10-9 in what was an insanely crazy defensive battle. And we got out of there with a victory before eventually losing to Parkview at J.A. Fair, and which was crazy. But I say that to say this team has done a good job of refocusing. And I think sometimes this team is bad about looking at social media and reading the clippings and reading the stuff that people are saying. I say that because last year against Parkview and even this year, I think we let that Parkview team get in our heads. I was talking to guys after the ball game last week, and we were talking about, hey, we got to be. I told Bubba, we got to be BB fans next week. We just got to go finish the job and beat Robinson. And a couple of the guys, and we're like, I won't name names, but a couple of guys were like, yeah, I mean, Robinson's really good. They're really good, And it was just, you got that feel of like, we're not really walking into this week with a ton of confidence. Robinson's that good. We see it tonight, 42-0.
Yeah.
I mean, this was no fluke. I don't care how much talent we have. This is a well-coached and a really, really good football team with a ton of team speed. And so, again, I think we go into next week and we get a team that maybe we haven't looked at all year and heard about all year, and maybe that helps this team focus a little more going into that first-round playoff game.
Yeah, confidence it's always number one. If you come into the game not feeling like you have a chance, well, you don't have a chance, and that's something that I think they have been better about this year. Maybe up until this week, you talked to them a little bit more than I'd get a chance to, but they've come into every other game, and you could tell that they knew that they had a chance to go out there and win. And there were guys out there that you could tell they knew, but maybe that's something that you got to continue to work on. And a lot of times with places like Parkview, those are things that it really doesn't flip that switch until you actually do get that monkey off your back and you do win one of those games.
All right, well, the rest of our network schools take center stage tomorrow night. You guys make sure to tune in if you don't have any other Friday night plans. Pulaski Academy, they'll be right down the street as they'll head to Little Rock Christian in what should be a fantastic ball game. Little Rock Christian without their starting quarterback, and so that changes things a little bit. And PA, a lot to play for. 3-3 in conference. They want to host a home playoff game. They don't want to have to go to Fayetteville next week. And so they're hoping to get to play at home. They got to win that one and hope for some help. That'll be a big ball game over on the PA Live. And then the Mills Comets, they want that number 1 seed out of the 4A, and they got to go through Lone Oak to do it, and they'll do battle with the Jackrabbits at Lone Oak tomorrow night. Join Tripp Keeter and Darius Robinson on the Mills Sports Network for that call. Maybe even me, because I'm going to be there for a bit. And then at War Memorial Stadium tonight, where Sylvan Hills unexpectedly wants to end their season, just not tomorrow night. Sylvan Hills will battle Catholic with the number 1 seed. Well, not really between the two number 1 seed being on the line, but Sylvan Hills looking for that number 1 seed in the 6A, and with a chance to do it at War Memorial against Catholic tomorrow night. Join Jay Berg, Chris Goodman on the call for that one. And that'll do it for us here tonight. Congratulations to the Senators. Also, congratulations to our Hornets. Great year. I mean, you don't win the conference. You're going to end up 3rd in the 5A Central, but a conference that's always tough, and a great job by the Hornets to battle all year long, and now we turn our attention to postseason play. So that'll do it for us. For Mr. Bobby Jones on our main cam, great job all season long. We appreciate you, man. Big thanks to my wife, Kristen Henson, on our field cam. Kerry Rotnick, appreciate you, sir, as well, for volunteering to come out and run a second field cam for us tonight. And, of course, Andy Gates pushing the buttons over here, doing everything opposite of what Will Watkins taught him. So, for Jake Hall, Tyler Chenault, I'm Steve Henson. This has been Hornet Football on the Maumelle Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. We'll see you somewhere next week for round 1 of the playoffs. Go Hornets.